Hey guys, and welcome to an epic King of the Hill! Everything is broken, nothing's working, Steam's down, the trailer's not working. Oh no, we're just gonna have to hop straight into the action. Of course, it would happen at the very start of a stream. But up first, we do have RTK's very own human boy, yes, taking on Rebane Fantasy of Clan DBD. Now, this first King of the Hill match will be a blind picks, so it is being blind picked to be Skaven up against Beastmen. But apart from that, it's going to be the King who does pick a faction, ban 2, and then his opponents will come in to try and claim that crown. Should be a good fun fight. Hopefully you guys can see stream. I'm like super annoyed with Steam right now. It basically crashed multiple times. I ended up crashing the game, crashing my computer, crashing basically absolutely everything. Because, you know, Steam likes to do updates without telling anyone, and then this glorious stuff happens. But we are here. We have returned to the action. Let me know that Steam's working. If you guys can indeed see, we will get underway as quickly as possible. Should be some good fun. How are you guys today? Good to see so many people in chat. I see Mr. Geese Howard here as well. He'll be sharpening his teeth, no doubt, as he is one of the challengers today. Cool. It looks like Steam is going. Hello, Emperor, Human Boy, Cat Morgan, CJ, Rebane, by the grace of God. Cat Morgan, yeah, looks like that's everyone. What's up, guys? Tiago as well, Mr. Mark. I am going to be using your overlay soon, Mark. I've just been super lazy and haven't got it started just yet. And hello, Kelligar as well. So, we're just going to hop in. Pray you guys can see what's happening. But who knows in these troubled days with Skaven at work, of course. Let's go, Rebane, says Kaden. How are you doing today, champ? Love your little duck symbol next to your name. We've got a lot of YouTube members here today, actually, it would seem. Which is always good to see. Yeah, I'm excited to hop into this. So as soon as the stream starts, I got work. Sorry, man. Sorry, dude. It was meant to be starting going live about 20 minutes ago. But yeah, Steam just decided to crash because, you know, it's what Steam does. It's what Steam does. Be back when I can. No worries, Catmang. Feel free to pop in and out. We're going to be running for about 2 hours today. So going to about 20 past 9. Should be able to do some pretty good fun games throughout. And I'm excited to see the crazy builds people do decide to bring. King of the Hill, for the most part, is pretty wild. People don't necessarily go super competitive because there's nothing on the line apart from the pride of millions, of course. But apart from that, you know, nothing too much. Go Human Boy, screams Bob Trash. Man, Bob Trash is one of those players as well who has really cool builds. We'll have to get him on the channel again at some point soon. Maybe in a best of 7 against someone. But here we go, loading in. Steam, don't fail us now. So, it looks like it's just about clinging on for life, which is good to see. And it is going to be the forces of the Skaven, of course, for Human Boy. He is a Skaven main. And he's actually gone with an artillery piece, which is an interesting choice here on such a tiny little map. It is Itik's Zap Zap cannon. Can do some really good long-range damage. We do have a pretty powerful Lord Core, though. We have Lord Skrulk down on the ground. Still probably the best Skaven Lord, in my humble opinion. He does come with some very powerful abilities, the Liber Bubonicus, as well as the Roar of Corruption. He's going to be coming in with Vermintide and Pestilent Breath as well. He's going to be equipped with double assassins, so the assassin's going to do a really fantastic job of protecting them and also nuking down big enemy blobs. They have Riverhide Talisman, Slippery, and all that good stuff. We do have double Poisoned Wind Globadiers, some of the most cost-effective units in the entire game, and 1 unit of Poison Wind Mortars, a couple of slaves to back them up. A little bit worried about how thin this front line is going to be. Yeah, it's just clan rats for the most part. We do have some wolf rats with poison and some rat ogres. It looks like we've got a couple on either flank, but this is going to be a very fragile box on what is quite a small map. For the forces of the Beastmen, a cheeky little vanguard is going to be coming in with Ungors and Ungor spearheads, dotted all the way along the main battle line, backed up by a couple of Chaos Warhounds looking to nip in between the flanks of the opponent and shut down those weapon teams. We do have triple throwing axes, which is an interesting choice. 2 of them are regulars. One is the Grog Hooves of Wolfsrun, coming with that poison and that glorious regeneration. Very underrated unit. A lot of people don't seem to like them, but I think they can actually be relatively powerful. We have double Theramanticore up in the sky, looking to bring death from above. We have a Jabberslife down on the ground. And for the leadership core, we have a Foot Bray Shaman. I really like the way, I don't know if this was ever a thing before, but like their colour schemes are different now from what they once were. So it's like purple because it's death, coming in with Doom and Darkness. And we have Torx the Brass Bull with all of the goodies, looking to ramrod his way into the front line of the Skaven forces and overwhelm them. But he needs to be careful. Yes, he's a tank, but double assassin is enough to kill basically everyone. Yes, yes, yes. Go where to victory? You could technically play all 7 Lizardmen sub-factions. We can work something out. We can work something out, I'm sure. Oh, Skaven are very competitive at lots of wars. Yeah, Skaven, like, they used to be really good and everyone played them, and they got, like, the tiniest nerf, and everyone's like, no, Skaven are garbage! But Skaven are actually still very deadly force to be reckoned with. They are very powerful, and a lot of their lords are competitive. Particularly, like, yeah, Lord Skrog, the Greyseer, Deathmaster Snickage can be as well in the right situations. And I've got a video coming out, actually, probably tomorrow, about what I consider to be the most underrated Skaven lord, who is such a beast of war. Oh, Duck, how is my white line? It's fine on such a small map. Like, he can still get behind. It's fine. It's such a small map. I know this isn't going to be competitive between these guys. They're just having fun. We may get to Cowboy Bob, I'm not sure. This might be the worst matchup in the game, says Tiago. Oh, interesting. Interesting. I mean, Beastmen, in theory, should be able to run over a lot of Skaven forces, but it looks like Rebane has been a man of class and culture, as you'd expect from him, and decided not to bring an insane amount of kind of like Wargore chariots and stuff, which you could technically do. We are playing Torment rules, so you're allowed 1 Wargore chariot and 2 Tuskor chariots, and that'd be very powerful here. But Rebane ain't that type of guy. He's coming in instead with a lot of the cool stuff. Centaurs, though, are getting a little bit too bunched up right now. Those mortars are really going to start to reap havoc now that the Centaur units are crossing over basically completely at the moment. So that's bad news for them. The Ferromantacors up in the skies, though, do have a load of juicy targets, and to be honest, not many counters upon them, apart from the Hero Core. They are taking a little bit of initial damage on the approach, but that is to be expected. And it looks like the cannon is going after the Brave Shaman of Death, and he's just been juggled in the air there by the Lightning Warp Fire. And, yeah, not doing good work for himself. Life is going to start popping forward. The Ferromantacors have already dived down on top of Itik's Zap Zap, as well as the Poison Wind Mortars, but it may be a little bit too late to save the Brave Shaman, at least for the initial engagement. Rat Ogres are also coming in, and now goes down the Rival Hide Talisman, going to be nuking the Manticore's melee attack to 0. So they need to get out of here as quickly as possible. In the front line as well, Ungor herds have been pushed back rather effectively. Life needs to get aggressive, so does Torok, so they need to be over here, not in the front line, because, yeah, killing slaves is all good, but, you know, these are the juicy targets you really want to overrun. Chaos Warhounds are floating down the flanks, as are the Grog Hooves of Wolf's Run. Now, where are the rest of the Centaurs? No way did all of the Centaurs get forced off. I guess if they broke, they were so close to the board edge, they just fled. That is really unfortunate for the Beastmen here, and it looks like the cavalry is having to force its way all the way through to try and engage with the juicy Skaven back line. Lord Skrog is being destroyed here by Torque's Brass Ball, but Royal Corruption goes down, although Brass Body should be able to help him tank out quite a considerable amount of damage right now. Lord Skrog is managing to escape back to the central core. The Life, or the Ferromanticore I should say, is still hunting down Itik's Zap Zap, but those Rat Ogres are doing some really lovely work here. Skaven slaves are pouring on the pressure, and a load of the Beastmen forces are just running for their lives at the moment, but there's not too many good units to take down the Life, as well as Torque's the Brass Bull. Skaven slave slingers will get some okay value, but will they destroy it? Not single-handedly, and they can certainly get overrun here. The double Rival Hide Talisman is a real dirty trick, and it is working super well here. It is one of the most powerful items in the entire game, and I haven't seen it used actually for quite a bit. I haven't seen Skaven so much in competitive tournament play, but it is very common to see 2 assassins bring that ability in a little death blob, although this build was more of a kind of fanned out approach. Both the Poison Wind Globadiers are still online, pouring fire in, doing a bucket ton of friendly fire now, but they're Skaven. They absolutely love it. It's what they live for. Torx is still a bit of a tank, but Assassin's Trophy has come down upon him, and Double Assassin is a lot for any character in the game, particularly with Assassin's Trophy popped. And he's still got okay stats, even with that coming down, but he is completely surrounded, isolated, and the Skaven scheme their way to victory. Yes, yes. Quack, quack, what's up? Maybe a rush with Rat Ogres and Skaven Halberds, kind of like Tomb Kings. That could work for sure. Torx the Grass Ball. He does like to move a little bit. Oh, kiting on Troll Country is very hard, agreed for sure, but well played to Human Boy. He didn't need to kite to get victory here. He simply had overwhelming firepower, and the fact he was able to protect the Poison Globadiers is basically what won him the game, because these little Rattos get disgusting value. Like, they are one of the most powerful units in the entire game. They are so cost effective. They are very cheap. 642 and 805 damage value, 120 and 71 kills. Yeah, that's some good work, particularly from a unit who didn't even get that long to fire. 1,800 damage value from the Poison Mortars. It Zap Zap 846. Some of the Rat Ogres performing really well there as well with 1,000 damage value. Apart from that, Lord Skrulk and the Assassin just working with the Rival High Talisman enabled them to survive the early pressure from the Feromanticores, who, you know, still got in there. Did some okay work, 470 and 510 damage value. Torque's Brass Bull, a respectable 890. But the loss of the Braesharn basically instantly to Itic Zap Zap was quite a big loss. And though the Javaslith got 99 kills, it didn't push with the rest of the forces. It needed to be in there with the Manticores at the same time to really harass the enemy back line. I think very unfortunately, the Centaurs tried going around the back, got broken, and then instantly routed off the battlefield, which can be a big, big problem, of course, on Troll Country and these other smaller maps. That can unfortunately happen, and those two units did get broken and fell back there. GG. Oh god, so we now have Geese Howard playing under the name Rebane Nonfiction. Love it. So let's switch up the map and go to River of Maxon. Rebane did his best, man. Rebane did his best. He just got overwhelmed. Hello, I love your videos. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. RTK too strong. Agreed. So it is pick and double ban. You cannot play same faction twice. Awesome. So let's update the scoreboard. Pray it doesn't crash as I come out the game. And it looks like we're all good. And Human Boy is 1 up. So Rebane does unfortunately bow out there. His forces not quite able to penetrate the Skaven defences. And we're going to pop in Geese there. You'd think Geese would be natural enemies to the Ducks, but we're actually stalwart allies. And oh no. Oh no. No, guys, we have a Vampirates mirror match. My little dark heart is broken. No, oh no, we have VP versus VP. I couldn't get in there fast enough. Yeah, you need to strike real hard and then fall back when those Rival High Talismans came down. By the way, Ducky, have you and Grumby talked about the Sons of Mountain DBD Clan War? Yeah, we did a long time ago. We need to get back into it. I believe DBD does have a Clan War coming up this Wednesday. So a week today, I think we've got a Clan War up against Aima, or Ima. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. A-I-M-A. Means blood in ancient Greek, I believe. So we're sorting out that, and then we can definitely get Sons of the Mountain rolling. We also want to play LP soon at some point. Please play on Slan Gold. Maybe. Maybe we'll whip it out. I'll probably whip out a Balavitsa at some point. At least not a Vampire Camera, exactly. It could be a lot worse. It could be a lot worse for sure. Happy pooping? What was that, Kelliger? Oh, Rebane said he needed to go to the toilet. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. You think VP is way worse than VC? Oh no, man. I know Neckbert loves his vampire counts, but like, Vampire Count Mirror, it takes like 20 minutes before the battle starts because they're still wandering towards each other. I mean, these guys, we're probably going to see at least one Crabbo rush, so it does speed the game up quite a bit. Which, of course, for us viewing, is very good news all around. Vampire Count Mirror match the best? See, we got fans of Vampire Count Mirror matches, I suppose. Maybe we'll have one at some point. You can do mirror matches. I'm not like banning them or anything. I'm just really excited to be here casting with you guys today, doing a cheeky little King of the Hill. And let's see who is actually up on the list. So, the list so far. So we've gone through Rebane versus Human Boy. So then we have Geese Howard, Biblington, the Black Fawn, the man, the myth, the legend, Artisan, Von Carstein, Cry, Werthez, Lunacy, and Cowboy. Oh, well, actually, I believe Von Carstein, unfortunately, has had to step down, and he wanted to give his place to Grombrindle. So I believe it is actually going to be Geese Howard, Biblington, Black Fawn, Artisan, Grombrindle, Cry, Werthez, Lunacy, Cowboy. And maybe if we somehow go long enough or people drop out, I think Ice Power wants to play as well. But he'd be quite far down the list at this point. Looks like these guys are ready to rumble. We are going to be fighting on River Amaxon, one of my favourite maps, because it is dino-themed and competitive at the same time. You will certainly not be new to it if you have watched my live streams before. I do use this map quite a bit in tournament play, because I think it's very good for it. Vampire Cowards. Oh man, Torx the Brass Ball's back, baby. You just missed a Torx game. I won't tell you how it ended, because you'd probably be very angry and sad. Von Carstein is good. Yes, he's a very good player. Been around for a long time as well. He actually represented DBD once. It's Werthez. Werthez bespells with a W. Okay, so like the W is silent. Or no, it's just like, it sounds like a V. Okay. Vampire Cat Mirrors, the only matchup worth playing. Who was I with? Who on Valentine's Day we did a free-for-all. 4 vampire counts, all with like Wind of Death and zombies, and we sent it to Darv as like a Valentine's Day like present. I don't think he ever cast of it, so I'm just kind of upset. So anyway, for the blue zombies of Human Boy, yes, the current king, who we do owe our allegiance to, we have zombie pirate deckcam mobs in the front line, backed up by a bucket ton of gunnery mobs. We also have hand cannons, so 2 hand cannons, which is interesting. No black spot, unfortunately. We do have Count Noculus on foot coming in with Invocation of Nehek, Raised Dead. And is that what I think it is? Where have you gone? Where's he heading off to? There you are. Is that what I think it is? Has he gone for Wind Blast? Or whatever it's called? He has Wind of Death. Okay, we have Wind of Death. That's pretty cool. Double Gunnery White as well on foot. We have Shade Wraith Gunners, a load of Deck Gunners in the back, and some Scurvy Dogs. So really looking to out-obliterate his opponent from long range. As for Geese Howard, he's also going for a defensive style of play. We actually have triple artillery pieces here. 1 carronade, double mortar. We have a load of polearms as well in a defensive formation. We actually have double depth guard. I feel like these boys may end up just getting shot across the map, but if they do manage to engage the enemy in hand-to-hand combat, they really could do some massive work. We have triple deck gunners as well, or deck droppers with handguns up in the sky. We have a Death Shriek Terrorgeist and the mighty Luther Harkin himself. So where is the caster? Because surely we have a caster. And if we do, Luther Harkin does not come with magic, and unless I'm being blind, Geese is just saying casters are for the weak, only weaklings would use magic. I'm here to use full party power. I don't think he's got one. What was this? Oh no, just saying good luck, have fun. Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. Gun build auto wins? Possibly. Possibly. Torx didn't see it, so it doesn't count. This is a fact. This is a fact indeed. But welcome to the stream, Torx. I hope you're having a good time. Rampaging across the Empire, wherever you are. Where's the boom thickest boy? I know, there's no blow corpse by either of these guys, which is a little bit saddening here. The air core here may get obliterated by long range. Luckily, the mortars are going to be able to do pretty decent work, you would hope, plus the carronade. But there is so much disgusting range from Human Boy here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 range units. Including the gunnery whites, actually that's 12 range units, the max you can have. That is very scary for sure. Deck Droppers are currently lining up some shots, and they are aiming at Count Noculus, but the Shade Wraith Gunners are going to countershoot, eviscerating Deck Dropper Handgunners, whose morale is getting very low there, and they could instantly start to crumble. Some deckhand mob polearms did push forward, just having a little bit of a closer look at the opponent. These mortars, as well as the carronade, are really going to have to reap terrible havoc upon an opponent here. Otherwise, the guns are going to be pretty damn scary and nasty. Luther Harkin is floating out to the right-hand side here, looking to sneak up and get behind the enemy formation. But again, without any invocation, the heck, it's certainly going to be a tough ask of him. But those mortars, oh my god, some direct hits. Look how many zombies have once again been sent to the afterlife. So many going down here, and this is some good target priority already from the mortars. Human Boy's going to have to get very aggressive, which he doesn't want to do because he has such a range-focused build. But yeah, he's certainly going to want to get toe-to-toe with the enemy as quickly as possible. Lovely little invocation heck does go down on the handgunners, trying to keep them alive. Luther Harkin is going to be falling back here. More mortar strikes do rain down upon the gunnery mobs there. We do have 2 deck droppers floating around the flank, looking once again to sneak into the opponent's back line, but no scurvy dogs is a bit of a problem here for the Red Van Pirates, and for Geese Howard here. Mortars continue to aim, though, at the handgunners where possible. They will want to switch their targets eventually to the Shade Wraith gunners and the deck gunners if they get the opportunity, because these guys come with a lot of long-range firepower, and that's going to be very scary. Once they get into range of the mortar crew and the carronade crew, they could really overrun them quite quickly. The Terrorgeist is floating in the back line, though. The Gunnery White is being focused down by the carronade, but it's not the most accurate of beasts. It looks like the Shade Wraith gunners are actually going to be getting connected to now by the mortars, but their ethereal state keep them alive and healthy, at least at the moment. Scurvy Dogs have managed to force their way through. Good micromanagement here by RTK's very own Human Boy. Yes, yes. And I can tell you, Scurvy Dogs are arguably the most annoying unit to play against in the entire game because of the fact they're unbreakable. Look how quickly they just gobble up that mortar crew, and even if you catch them, you can't break them. They still get the job done. Down here on the left, we have more Scurvy Dogs as well, whipping up and around. Bye-bye carronade, bye-bye both mortars, and all of a sudden the battle is well and truly in the hands of the Blue Van Pirates and our current king. Luther Harkin is trying to kite and dodge shots where possible, but with no invocation heck on the board, he is really going to suffer quite badly here. Mortar has gone down. Depth Guard do bomb rush forward. Look to get to head into hand-to-hand combat with their opponents here. The poor Death Streak Terrorgeist is getting obliterated in fiery crossfire. No, the poor beautiful Beardy is, yeah, really biting the bullet right now. Scurvy Dogs are going to come in as well just to help add an extra nail in that coffin, and the Terrorgeist, it has gone down. Now, Depth Guard will do nice damage in the front line. They will certainly chew through the zombie pirate deck cam mobs about as fast as physically possible, but they no longer have any support. Luther Harkin is having to run away from the battlefield, and a beautiful Scabascape does go down the line, doing some massive damage here to the Depth Guard, and now we're going to see a load of gunfire come in, and another Scabascape comes down in the distance. You can see an absolute flustercluck of zombie-on-zombie action here going down the main line. Wherever Depth Guard go, they do reap a bloody toll upon the enemy, but only in kills, definitely not damage value. More Depth Guard have rallied to the cause, but this by focus fire alone, as well as that magical and item support, one unit of Depth Guard goes just like that. The other unit of Depth Guard up to 43 kills already, but they are fighting a zombie summon at the moment. Luther Harkin floating around the right-hand side, just trying to vibe, just trying to survive. In the skies, we still have a load of deck dropper handgunners, but they don't really have any good targets, and if they get close to the back, just there's so many guns still left alive. Those mortars kind of gave me hope. From the initial builds, it looked like the Blue Pirates were in a very solid position. Those mortars, though, did some glorious work, but unfortunately, as soon as the Scurvy Dogs hit, it was going to be a real rough affair for the Red Van Pirates. The Depth Guard are going to be eating a vicious charge from the zombie pirate deck cam mobs. Don't think anyone's ever said those words together, vicious and pirate deck cam mobs. It seems like the Depth Guard are really getting in there with their double axes, cleaving down the enemy up to 93 kills, but only 240 damage value. Handgunners are now getting shot down from the skies. Armor losses is near, and a full health unit of Depth Guard is going to crumble in an instant, Thanos style. GG's! Yo, nobody needs caster. Exactly, says the old eagle. The shooting dead, oh for sure. Yeah, he needed to bring a caster, 100%. Time for 2 hours of zombies shooting zombies. It didn't actually last that long in the end. That I get creamed with my name is one thing, but Geese losing my name is something else as well. I love it. What's up, Nafis? How are you? Can I get a quack? Quack, quack. So, Human Boy, once again, our king, victorious. 820 damage value on Count Noculus. The Gunnery Whites, 720 and 300. But honestly, the infantry, we don't even need to look at them, to be honest. None of them got anything impressive. It was all about those Zombie Paragonny Mob hand cannons. 1,213 damage value, taking out one of the Terrorgeists. 760 on the next one, and the long range is just so deadly. 780, 910, 773, and 412 on the Deck Gunners and Shade Wraith Gunners. Scurvy Dogs, MVPs for sure though, shutting down what long range pressure Rebane Non-Fiction did indeed have. Mortars racked up some good kills, and across the board you can see nice kills on the Depth Guard as well, but just the build really did get countered quite badly, and no healing for Luther Harkin was 100% a huge mistake there. GG. So, it's Bib. Bib is here. Pillar of Bone is the map. So, let's update the scoreboard. Human Boy, the Almighty King, the undefeated so far, is currently 2-0 up. And we'll be changing this name to Bib. Bib, a very talented Chaos player as well, so I would not be surprised to see him counterpick with them, but it looks like he wants to go High Elves. Interesting, interesting. So, Human Boy goes Empire, bans Empire and Empire, and Biblinton will go High Elves. So it looks like these guys already knew roughly what they were going to be doing for sure. Yeah, that certainly wasn't as bad as the Vampire Camp Mirror, 100%. Wow, those are the shotgun guys, the Madman. Yeah, the shotgun guys did really good. They're actually used as a backline protection unit there to shoot down the Deathshake Terrorgeist, and they got some disgusting value. You don't often get to see them in play, but when you do, it is certainly a beautiful sight to behold. So, let's have a little look what they're saying. Yes, yes, cool. Looks like these guys are ready to rumble. Pillar of Bone, a relatively medium-sized map, does have some trees as well as some high ground, but a lot of the battle does tend to unfold in this central low ground or on the left-hand side, so players tend to be at equal footing, but it does allow you, if you want, to do more defensive styles of play and kind of sit back. It's going to be an interesting game. I think all-round Empire have a pretty hefty advantage in this matchup. Volkmar the Grim will kill all of the Elvish infantry without so much as breaking a sweat, and can also absorb a lot of enemy missile pressure. So Volkmar the Grim certainly could be someone we would see here from Human Boy, yes, yes. But likewise, the High Elves can sit back and shoot as well, try to counter the enemy long-range pressure. Hellstorm rocket batteries can cause devastating effects in this matchup due to how tightly packed those High Elves are. People use them against air? Yeah, for sure. Happy birthday, says Navis. Thank you, bud. I appreciate you popping in every stream to say happy birthday. Thank you. You think it's a relatively bad size map? Nah, Pillar of Bone's fine. People who don't like one size of map always, I never understand, because like I see a lot of people complain because I like putting some small maps into my tournaments, like it's too small, I can't kite. That is true. You do have to use a different style of play, but likewise on a very large map you can't rush. So I think bringing small maps, medium maps and large maps all together is probably the best way to go. But I understand, you know, Tig, if you don't like Pillar of Bone, that's completely cool, man, as well. Thank you for helping with joining clan. No worries, man. I hope you got in touch with Grombrindle. And if you're part of Sons of the Mountain, maybe we'll see you at some point as well in a glorious clan war. Yeah, they're probably quite good against bats. I've never seen anyone use them against pterodons, but I can certainly see that they would be quite a ferocious counter. Though with Chameleon Stalkers in the game now, we don't see as many pterodons as we once did. They were kind of a must-pick before. But, you know, it is what it is. Boo, boo, Human Boy, try harden. He was given as good as he got. But the only map on the pool should be Oakenhammer, the perfect map. We can you know what? Just for you, man. Be right back. No worries. We obviously won't start the game until he's ready. We're gonna do Oakenhammer next. We're gonna do it. Ducky should do a bad maps only tournament. Oh, for sure. We'll get Raptor and Aristodamos or something to pick our maps for us. I might do that next, actually. Do like a bad map, King of the Hill or something. Could be pretty funny. Or like random factions, random builds, garbage maps. That might be a bit too much stacked on top of each other, though. Hope you guys are enjoying the stream, though. Now that we are fully underway. If you guys are, make sure to leave a thumbs up. help push this out to as many people as possible. Go downstairs, grab your parents, tell them, oi, go watch Rubber Duck of War. Go grab your housemates, scream it in the streets, randomly attack people, yelling quack until they get the message. This is what that's how you market YouTube, lads. You just scream at people. So, I think Humboy is currently out of the picture, so before he sets up and gets back here, we can go through his build quickly. A load of spearmen and swordsmen, so going very wide with the Empire forces. We also have Empire Knights on the left-hand flank and right-hand flank. Looks like he has indeed returned. Double Hellblaster Volley Gun can certainly be very powerful, particularly when combined with a net caster, so we have a Light Wizard simply coming in with the net to pin stuff in place and allow the Hellstorms to reap terrible carnage. Wind Blast as well on the Celestial Wizard, and of course we have Volkmar the Grim. I don't know how long it's been since I've seen a competitive game with someone bringing anything other than Volkmar, but he is so comfortably the Empire's best lord in my opinion. Grand Soulfire, Grand Shield of Faith, Grand Hammer of Sigma, and Banishment will be his poisons of choice. And of course, he has the Jade Griffin for that regeneration. We also have a couple of crossbowmen. Crossbowmen seem to be making a bit of a comeback. I see a lot of people actually bring them once again. And we have Triple Archer, so a very range-heavily focused Empire faction. It's really fun when you see someone who mains a faction play other factions. So, for example, Humboy, yes, mains Skaven. And you can see the Skaven influences in this build. A load of range with a couple of heavy hitters, and then a load of cheap chaff to make a defensive line. For the forces of the Elvish Biblington here, coming with a load of rangers, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the front line, backed up by some white lions. We also have 4 units of Shadow Warriors looking to bring the pain from the long range here, and Silver Helms, triple Silver Helm cavalry. These are some like a mid-tier shock cavalry. Anti-infantry, when they lower their lances, they can get in there and dish out all kind of damage. It does make me giggle a little bit when you see units which don't have shields, so you can get Silver Helms with shields, and the models are exactly the same, just with the shield like not there, so their hands always look super janky to me. We also have a Major Fire. That's going to be really useful here if she does indeed survive those Hellblaster shots. Burning Head, Cascade and Firecloak, and Tyrion, who is a really powerful character actually. The one weakness he has is low mass, so you can often get bogged down by cheap and cheerful troops, but with a Sunfang, sometimes you can clear out the way a little bit, and if you get some of his targets, he will eviscerate them. I rush High Elves Empire, that can work well as well for sure. Can you do one where campaign special units are allowed? For sure. I almost did. Yeah, Boris, like, there are a few lords who might be slightly better in other matchups. Boris is kind of meta against Beastmen. Karl Franz was for a while meta against Lizardmen. But, like, Volkmar's good in basically... I can't think of a matchup where Volkmar's bad. Maybe against Dwarfs. Even then, I still see some people bring him. Oh my god, look at that damage done to those Shadow Warriors. They just got absolutely wrecked. What was that? Oh my god, the Hellblaster volley guns are opening up an Elysian hell here on the Warriors of Shadow. A banishment goes down, and those Shadow Warriors are taking massive damage. They need to push forward and focus down the Hellblaster, but the problem with that is you're going to become in range of the archers and crossbowmen, which could, of course, cause big problems. Volkmar's just vibing at the moment, going left and right. We are going to see a net come down on the Major Fire, who certainly wants to start casting some spells, because she is going to be the focus of attention now from these Hellblasters. A lovely, lovely Burning Head goes down the line, catching one unit of crossbowmen. The second one attempt to dodge, but actually walking into the Fiery Inferno. Luckily, it just scoops wide of them, and that mage... Did the mage just die? No way! Look at the mage! One net was all it took, and down goes the Elvish mage from one net and some glorious Hellblaster volley gun play. High Elves in general are very squishy beings, so Volkmar is always good against them, but likewise is a long-range missile pressure. Rangers are starting to push in from all sides, Silver Helms as well, starting to take to the flanks, and Volkmar the Grim is having his booty absolutely slapped by Tyrion. He will dispatch Volkmar in his sleep whilst chilling out with the Lady Alarielle as well. He does not care for Volkmar's buffs, but this is the problem of Tyrion. He is now stuck in melee combat with a load of swordsmen, and Hellblasters can turn their rage upon him. Volkmar simply falls back and is able to regenerate up, and you can see how quickly Tyrion's health is going down here. He can be a little bit squishy with those Hellblaster pressure, and oh no, Tyrion does indeed get netted. I need someone in chat to sing a sweet lullaby here, because Tyrion is about to receive the blessing of Sigma. Although it looks like the Hellblasters are slightly obstructed, and down come the Silver Helms, trying to save their Liege Lord, darting in between the Empire Knights, and they have hopped finally on top of these Hellblasters. But are they going to be able to break them before they themselves are broken upon by the Empire Knights? Only time will tell. It looks like Tyrion did manage to survive that outburst. Silver Helms can now drive forward into the heart of this Empire build, but the Silver Helms, who kind of suicide charged in, it looks like this unit is broken. Likewise is the Hellblaster, though. The second Hellblaster is also gone, and the Silver Helms are now jumping onto the Archers, and the Shadow Warriors quite comfortable in the back line. Biblington needs to remember these Rangers. He can come in, kill the Spearmen, and now it's the Rangers' time, the Elvish time, to start raining fire back upon their enemy. Tyrion once again is engaged with Volkmar the Grim, though Volkmar has cheated a little bit and regenerated up since their last fight. On the back lines, Archers are being overwhelmed by Silver Helms. Stand your ground has indeed been popped right now. Tyrion's doing some okay work. I mean, he is getting through Volkmar right now. The big problem is going to be these Empire Knights, because they're going to be able to hunt down the Shadow Warriors, and there's not too much the High Elves can do about it. They have nothing left with any mass. Silver Helms are kind of gone for the most part. There are some Archers returning to the fight in a few moments. Volkmar, indeed, though, has been pushed back right now. Empire Knights moving over to try to surround Tyrion, which isn't the worst idea, although pushing back on the Shadow Warriors would indeed be a better idea, though their ammunition is starting to run a little bit thin right now. Crossbow fire is back online. Volkmar vibing, chilling, praising Sigma as he does. He's quite happy to sit out this fight for as long as possible, just so he can regenerate his health kind of not quite to the top, but nearly back to the top. You can just about see his healing cap now. And though it was a nice little comeback in the mid-game there by the High Elves, eventually shutting down those Hellblaster volley guns, it looks like the King may well indeed be immortal, with Human Boy on absolute fire form today. Tyrion goes in for the final Jewel of Jewels. Grand Shield of Faith, Grand Hammer of Sigma goes down on Volkmar. Tyrion desperately clinging to life at the moment. He does indeed have the Heart of Avalon, but unfortunately it normally goes off as he's breaking and shattering, which is really frustrating for most Elvish players. But it looks like he won't even get to that point. The High Elves are doomed, and the Empire of Mankind shall reign supreme once more. Yes, yes. Dwarfs where, screams Caligar. Hopefully we get to see some dwarves at some point for sure. Rip Mage, that Mage. Lullaby noises, thank you, thank you. Yeah, it doesn't have the width to capitalize on the break. Man, that was, that Mage, my god. It was a really nice burning head from the Mage, got rid of a unit. But, oh my god, the net Doa Hellblaster play can be really good. Now, this could have backfired horribly for Human Boy. If Biblington had brought, like, double Eagleclaw Bolt Thrower and sat at the back, it could have been really rough. But luckily for him, Biblington went for the Chad Tyrion play. 1,684 damage value. Not bad considering he basically solo hunted Volkmar the entire game, but he could not get his prize. Rangers and White Lions did okay in the front line, but eventually dragged down by long-range missile pressure. And that was a big problem by the Shadow Warriors. Though they can be sneaky, they have to get close to be able to shoot the Hellblasters. And due to good buffering from Human Boy and his big old fat 20 stack there, the High Elves couldn't quite break into it. I do think going quite wide up against High Elves is very common and very cost-effective, because Elves, for the most part, are pretty pricey and pretty expensive. There were Hellblasters, 1,436 damage value and 1,681. Lovely work by them. Real top-notch play of those nets. Empire Knights, 820 and 980 damage value. A little bit too late to save the Hellblaster crew, but they got the Silver Helms in the end. Of course, across the board, the State Troopers don't really do too much damage value-wise, but they're just bodies to protect the back line. Volkmar the Grim, a meager 745 damage value, but doing good work all round. Up next is going to be Oakenhammer, and let's see who is on the list. Looks like Lunacy can't play. No worries whatsoever, champ. Up next shall be Black Fawn. After that we have Artisan Tech Priest, Grombrindle, Cry, Vertes, and then Cowboy. Quack quack! Yo! Oakenhammer is the map. Let us quickly update the scoreboard. So, Human Boy, the king of today's hill, is 3-0 up. And let's change Biblinton's name. Good scrap by Biblinton though. Love to see Tyrion in action. Shall be replaced with Blackthorn. A deadly warrior for sure. Can bring some really awesome builds. I've had the pleasure of facing him quite a few times, and he's actually a clanmate of mine representing DBD here today. So let's pop his name in there. And this is going to get a little bit rough for Human Boy the longer it goes on, of course, because his main factions will be dealt with. Oh, looks like Human Boy is going Lizardmen. He looks like he's trying to win over my heart here and go with my favourite Dino Boys. Elves are not Chad. Grombrindle, come on, Tyrion, bro. Tyrion. Tyrion's a cool dude. GG for Sigma, indeed. Nerf the Ratto. Nerf him, says Cadane. We must hunt him down. We need to rework on martial prowess. Yeah, I could certainly see that. I think it's one of the weaker faction traits. I mean, Lizardmen's one's also kind of terrible, but they don't need any help, which is like the Rampage effect. I mean, it's okay getting extra stat buffs, I suppose, but the Rampage is really annoying. But Lizardmen are good enough. I don't think that needs to be reworked, even though I think it's one of the less fun game mechanics. Can the Chaos Dwarfs do Skaven gun tactics, since they have cannon fodder and good range? Quite possibly Eldrin of the Mist. That's going to be interesting to see. I'm sure they will be coming in at some point in Game 3. My main guess would be as a DLC faction. What's up, Mr. Ice Power Total War? How's it going, bud? Hope you're all good. You may be able to make the list, because Lunacy has had to drop out. But we're going to be running to about 9:15, so we have like an hour and 15 left, roughly. So, you know, we've got time. So there may be hope. Lizardmen OP? Lizardmen are very good. I don't think they're anywhere near as OP, though, as like Greenskins was, or anything like that, or Vampires in their day. So to be honest, I'm actually relatively happy where Lizardmen are at the moment, once, obviously, you know, the bugs and stuff sort themselves out and get sorted. He insulted the High King! Okay, oh no. Oh no, but I mean, for an elf, you've got to respect that though, Grombrindle. Like, he's got balls, which isn't something, you know, a lot of elves kind of just chill out, don't do too much. Whereas, at least Tyrion is like, you know, he's man enough to try to go toe-to-toe with the dwarfs, even though we all know he would lose. But don't tell high elf players that. The Rock. Looks like Chris really does indeed want a Gorok, perhaps. Spice Power Tomb Warrior. I think... Oh god, you have to look up Torment rules. I think 2 Quattles is fine. Look up banner rules, because that's what we're playing on. I haven't played in too many Torments yet, so I need to get used to the stuffs. Howdy Blackthorn, you handsome devil, says Human Boy. So it looks like we have Empire once more. Blackthorn trying to bring more glory to the Empire. Yeah, Lizardmen are very powerful for sure, 100%. And I agree with Ice, like, the game's pretty well balanced, apart from the bugs. Of course, factions like... Well, the fact that Norska is considered the weakest faction, but is actually still really good in tournaments, or can be really good in tournaments, I think says a lot. Like, yeah, Lizardmen don't have too many garbage matchups, but I would say Empire is actually slightly Empire-favoured. Dwarfs is probably slightly Dwarf-favoured. I mean, it's a tough one. Then you got Vampirates, you have Skaven, you have Beastmen, who are now far more even. That used to be like the Lizardmen's best matchup, right? And that's been taken away from them. It's a lot more even now, so... All round, I do think the DLC, I will eventually do a tier list once bugs are fixed, because it'd be the final tier list probably I do for Total War Warhammer 2, before we move on to game number 3. But I do think Lizardmen are basically the same power strength they were before the DLC. They've got a lot more versatile, which is good, although some of their best matchups have changed against them, and the big overall nerf to Poison and Mazdamundi is quite a big loss for them. But, you know, they've had a lot of good bonuses as well. Can't wait for Lizardmen to be nerfed into ground next hotfix. I really hope not, because they are fine as are. Dragons are actually good against dwarfs now. Interesting, Aphis. I'd like to see some replays of dragons going against dwarfs. Yeah, it can be a tough matchup to pull off this one from the Empire perspective, because Lizardmen will bomb rush you with a load of cavalry for the most part, but you really can do wonders here with Empire. You've got a lot of fast mobile AP. Karl Franz can be a world beater, but likewise, as we kind of said in the previous battle, Volkmar the Grim will kill an infinite amount of Saurus Warriors and Skinks, run over your entire battle line, so then you just have to deal with the enemy cavalry. But we're going to have to see how these boys play it today. Tyrion will pay for his actions. A High King is waiting for a duel with him to kill him. I'm very excited to see this showdown, Grombrindal. Chat, I got you, says Human Boy. Ooh. You reckon we're going to get Gorog? The boy. If we get Gorog, I'll be a very happy ducky right now. And though Blackthorn is my clanmate, we've got double ducks in the sky, so we have double Quartal. No one will ever convince me this isn't a duck. I know it has flying snake vibes all over it, but look at that beak. Snakes don't have beaks. You know what has beaks? Ducks. So we have double Quartal in the air, coming with 2 invisible blobs. So I'm sure most of you guys know by now, but Quartals do shield anything below them with a cloak of invisibility, coming down with the Master of the Sacred Places, giving these guys stalk, but not unspottable. I've seen a lot of players try and hide salamanders and hunting packs underneath these guys. It doesn't work quite that way. We do have a load of Saurus Warriors and Spearmen as well, so it's a Saurus Rush style approach with Gorok in the mix. Look at my boy. Look at him, just happy to be alive and like cutting in between his own troops. He has Shield of Eons, Stand Your Ground, and Rock of Itza. And on the left-hand side, we just have even more Saurus hiding as well. So this contingent shall be led by Skink Priest of Heavens, Windblast, and Curse the Midnight Wind. And that is a hilarious Lizardman build. I'm very excited to see how it performs. For the force of the Empire, with a much more standard approach to this, I think. We have a load of troops, swordsmen, Sigma Suns as well in the central pocket, and then 3 Company Militia backed up by crossbowmen, an insane amount, so 4 crossbowmen. We have the double 3 Company Militia, double 3 Company Militia in the back, a load of spearmen and halberds in a defensive situation. We do have a Witch Hunter in the front line, in fact, double Witch Hunter, and we have Balthasar Gelt, the god himself, Searing Doom, Plague of Rust, and Transmutation of Lead. No final transmutation here today. No sirree. We had something else. What was it? I spotted something. Oh, there we go. We have double great swords. Oh my, gold chevroned great swords. One is double gold chevron. This is going to be a fight and a half. I'm very excited to see how this one plays out. Now, the Coyotes are going to be used, to shield these guys on the approach, but there is no cannons. There's no Hellblasters or any of that nastiness. What there is, though, is a Searing Doom. If Balthasar Gelt can time this right, he could Searing Doom so many troops in one go. But the entire Lizardman build right now, apart from the 2 ducks in the sky, is currently invisible. Dragons are the last thing a dwarf player expects? Oh, for sure. Wait, what? Well, you have to let me know afterwards why dragons are OP. Because, from as far as I know, dragons have always been terrible. Or at least for a long while now. They used to be very good. Saurus Warriors do get hit by Searing Doom. It looks like for the most part they managed to dodge a lot of it though. And the Lizardmen will be approaching. We do have a little bit of lag between these 2 players. That's understandable. These guys are trying to connect probably from different parts of the world. And that kind of stuff can indeed happen. Saurus are now under quite a lot of long-range pressure from the 3 Company Militia, and the crossbowmen also starting to lay up. Now, Quartals are pretty powerful beasts in melee, but they're not world beaters. They're not going to rout an infinite amount of infantry, but they do have their bolts of lightning that can come down. We can see one coming in right now, and 2 lesser chain lightnings. And it looks like that one's actually going to catch the gold chevroned greatswords as well. Oh my god, look at that damage on the 3 Company Militia. Greatswords pushing in to deal with the Saurus Warriors. Should be able to do that rather effectively. A Windblast comes down, another Thunderbolt coming down. So many abilities are being stacked. Transmutation of Lead, lowering the melee attack of all of these troops is very powerful, but likewise a counterpunch from Curse of the Midnight Wind has indeed come in. Balthasar Gelt needs to make sure he's got his eyes and wits about him, because the Quattles really can hunt him down. Now, Saurus Warriors, one of the most cost-effective units in the entire game. They're doing some fantastic work so far, dragging their way through the muck of the enemy. Chain lightning hits the crossbowmen. They're down to just below half health at the moment, and it's actually following them, which isn't good news for them. Gorok is going to engage in hand-to-hand combat now with the double Witch Hunter, and really do need to try to fall back if possible. There are still 3 Company Militia, and they're going to be launching shot after shot into the Quattle here, trying to drag down this beautiful duck beast. Another Curse Midnight Wind, or not Curse, sorry, Wind Blast does come down on the crossbowmen. A fat, juicy Searing Doom once again catches a load of Saurus, but they are starting to drive their way through that front line. But There are halberds to counteract them, and one big problem so far that Human Boy has not addressed is the greatswords. They are doing an absolutely fantastic and great job so far, chewing their way through the Saurus, and all of those bolts of lightning and lesser chain lightnings have instead been used on the range aspects of this Empire build rather than those greatswords, which probably is the better idea because you can cycle charge the greatswords in the end game. But that's, you know, we'll have to wait and see how that goes down. Gorok is kind of being pistol whipped by some witch hunters. Witch hunters are such cool units. It's a real shame we don't see them anymore. And it looks like crossbowmen are unleashing shots into Saurus warriors at the moment, as halberdiers do pin them in place. Another fat, juicy Searing Doom comes down, catching a lot of the Saurus, though also a few great swords, unfortunately, will be taking some damage. Balthasar Gelt drives his horse into the foe. Let it not be known that Balthasar Gelt did not get his hands bloody, though he does very quickly fall back as well away. Another well-placed Wind Blast goes down. It's a very hard spell to dodge because it is very quick on the draw. It's very fast at firing. And Sing Praise up to 28 kills. That spell does a lot of HP damage, but doesn't often kill that many models. Witch Hunters are fine back-to-back right now. Two bros shooting back-to-back. This is a story in the making. Now they've turned and joined our allies once more to fire at Gorok. He's been accused. Minus armor, minus melee defense, and missile resistance. Crossbowmen are going to be trying their luck with him. Quattles really could be used to hunt down Balthasar Gelt, and looks like that's just what they're doing right now, trying to swoop down on the Madman of Gold himself. Greatswords have taken a bit of punishment now, it would seem, but not before dishing out it themselves. Up to 80 kills already, only 668 damage value. However, we do have more Free Company Militia falling back, as well as crossbowmen, and it looks like the Empire have just about held for now. A very close game still, and it's basically the single entities of the Lizardmen are the majority of what remains. Now, they did force a lot of range pressure off early on, but it has indeed returned, and the Quattles are starting to go down a little bit here. Gorok as well is starting to struggle. Balthasar Gelt has returned to the field of battle. Some Plague of Rust would really help out right now on these Quattles to lower them down, but it looks like instead it's actually gone down as an overcast on Gorok, and maybe the missile pressure will switch to him instead. All three of these guys getting rather low. Now, the greatswords should be enough. We also have 67 here to clear up the remainder of the Saurus warriors with the help of the halberds. So it really is going to come down to the double duck gambit as well as Gorok to see if they can seal the deal. And though the Plague Rust was popped on him, looks like most of the missiles are actually firing at those beautiful ducks in the sky. Another Searing Doom comes down by Balthasar Gelt, helping to soften up the Saurus warriors, so the basic swordsmen and halberdiers can start to drag them down. And you can see, I'm pretty sure one of the halberdiers just yelled, "Kill everything," and I agree with him. That is a good ethos to have in war. Free Company Militia firing into the flanks of the Saurus warriors is going to be enough to break them right now. Balanced power is, for the first time, probably in today, against our king. Human Boy, yes, yes. Quattles, though, still going just about strong. 127 and 80 kills on them is pretty respectable. Gorok, he does have the problem of being a tad bit slow, but they are hunting down one of the witch hunters now. Spearman should be able to come over here and help assist him where possible, but it looks like he may have been used as a little bit of bait here. A lovely wind blast once again goes down the Free Company Militia line, and the Quattles are reaping a deadly havoc upon their foe. Greatswords do mop up the remainder of the Saurus warriors. Balance of power is going more and more in favour of the Empire. This Witch Hunter, though, needs him to hurry up, otherwise he will not be long for this world. He'll simply be another piece of bread to add to the great hordes of the Duck collection. It seems like he may indeed be going down here, though the Balthasar Gelt could well be getting sniped by this other Quattle. Looks like instead he is going after the crossbowmen, with a lot of the infantry of the Empire being too far away from the main action, trying instead to focus down the infantry corps. So we have a load of crossbowmen who have returned. Double crossbowmen, as well as some Free Company Militia. And slowly the damage is starting to add up here. Skin Priest still alive, though. All of the single entities still fighting for the Dino Boys. The Witch Hunter going to be pretty solid in this situation, though. He does come with some rather nice armor-piercing missiles, trying to focus down the Quattle, and eventually he may get his prey. The Empire are now kind of coming back together again to form one giant fist in the name of the Empire. Polo Witch Hunter down here will be getting finished off by the Quattle as it glides gracefully through the skies. King Priest as well. Going to chase off the crossbowmen. Looks like the Lizardmen will be just biding their time right now to finish off as many troops as possible. But poor Gorok is getting danger low right now, down to 1,159 HP. He's a rather sturdy character for the most part, but still is just at the end of the day a Saurus. Witch Hunter is hunting him down. continue to shoot as he runs, so you can't really kite the Witch Hunter too effectively. He does have a mighty 100 armor and a silver shield, however, and it looks like he may turn to engage with the enemy. Both the Quator's going to have to move in for the kill, and we do have some Saurus Warriors rallying in the back burner here. Is there any chain lightnings left? Is there any Thunderbolts? Because that could be huge if the Empire player decides to bunch up on the giant ducklings. It looks like we are going to be seeing some kind of magical nuisances come in here. Neither of the Quarters got debuffed. Was it Gorok? No, it looks like the spell was maybe cancelled there by Balthasar Gelt. Quator's are still just about fine at the moment, but Gorok is probably going to be the focus of the Empire's attention, because the giant ducks, I can tell you, they're a pain in the butt to deal with. They are really annoying. They float around, they move in and out of combat. I absolutely love them, of course, and they're a really fun unit, pretty janky in the sense that they're all no gimmicky, I should say, with their hidden ability, but I think they're generally going to be quite competitive in the tournament scene. Free Company Militia, Crossbowmen though, are starting to get the hunger for roast duck tonight. Yet another Windblast comes down the line, reaping deadly havoc amongst the Halberdiers and Swordsmen, but it probably wanted to go down on the range troops. Actually, range troops are running low on ammunition at the moment. Quator getting very, very low. Gorok down to just 650 HP, cold-blooded, keeping him in action with the Rock of Itza as well. And it looks like the Quator is down to just 580 HP. If he loses their Lord, they will probably break at least one. But the Lizardmen player fighting back hard here. We have Halberdiers return to the forefront. Crossbowmen as well can shoot in from long range. But the one thing the Empire player needs to do is kill targets. He's kind of wounding a lot of targets without killing any individual one. And these are single entities. They have the exact same damage output as if they're full health or if they have 1 health. One duck unfortunately does go down. The Great Swords are cheering. There's still 56 Great Swords. It's pretty scary stuff. And it looks like the other Quator has been hit by an accusation. And now we have crossbowman shots raining down upon him. He still has a decent amount of HP at the moment. Gorok down to 620, however. Halberds have started to swarm. Balthasar Gelt has done good work today. The Witch Hunter as well. Still 360 no-scoping where possible into the ducks. But down goes Gorok. Down goes the Lizardmen. And the King doth fall. Well played to Blackthorn there. His Empire troops coming through victorious, and he shall be the new king. But well played to Human Boy, really picking up a fantastic scrap in today's tournament. And I love this build. This build was absolutely wild. 190 kills and 95 on the Quattles. 1.7k damage value, 12,000 damage dealt. The other one, 1,600, 14k damage dealt. Really proving that they are a force to be reckoned with. And this is a very thematic build. Gorok's kind of like, the leader of the Saurus in a way. That he is a big buff Saurus himself. And he's went for the full swarm, full Saurus build. 815 damage value on the Skink Priest. Some lovely little wind blast. Gorok, though, does suffer, unfortunately, from Foot Lord Syndrome, where, he's powerful, but he can't get to the right place at the right time, and is relatively slow yet tanky. 750 damage value on him. Balthasar Gelt, 1,473, considering he was also debuffing units with Transmutation of Lead and Plague of Rust. I think he performed really quite outstanding all round. Witch Hunters are not a unit you see terribly often, but they're a nice little addition here, particularly because of their accusation. 836 and 652 damage value. Of course, the state troops don't do too much. Halberdiers, though, pretty good actually. 400 and 680 damage value. Yeah, not shabby whatsoever. Great Swords are reaping a bloody toll, and 77 and 109 kills. That's just all Saurus. That's really good work clearing their way through Human Boy's build. So at the end, he could surround those single entities. Over 800 damage value and 500. Free Company Militia. Yeah, that's some pretty solid work across the board. 730 is the main damage there. And Crossbowmen did good work as well, 800 being their biggest contribution. GG! Man, that was a fun one. Mighty tactics indeed. So, we do need to remember, Human Boy got a record 3. Human Boy, I'm just going to write that down, 3. But a time must come when a king does unfortunately end. Up next we have Artisan Tech Priest. Let's message him quickly. No way, Crive, seeing you won't be able to play. That's okay. You are up, bud. So, the list is Artisan Tech Priest, Grombrindle, Vertes, Cowboy, and we may have time to dip into the reserves, Because we had a few dropouts here today, so I think the next reserve would be Ice Power. Yeah, I think it'd be Ice Power, then Hayden if we get that far. We'll have to wait and see. So, let us change the score round down to a 0 and change Blackthorns up to a 1-0 so far. Doing really well himself there. And we'll change the left side to Tech Priest. Boop. And we're ready to rumble. It's getting late for me, so I'll try to meme hard this time. No, Blackthorn, you're the king! The king, I tell you. I'm a little late to the stream, but here we are. What's up, Fulgrim? Is our saviour. How's it going, bud? Hope you're all good today. Glad that you managed to make it. I see Nick has joined the chat as well, and Ty Guy. Love seeing Gelt. GG, I agree, man. Hello, chat. Hello, Ducky. Hello, For Poland. How are you, man? Torx kill dragon. Easy. I agree. I agree, Torx. The Rock rises. Chris, I'm glad you're really happy that he listened to you. Now this is a build. I agree fully with what everyone's saying right now. So, Tech Priest, where art thou? Oh, he can't see the lobby. Let's see. Are we friends, Tech Priest? Are we friends, man? Tell it to me straight, dude. Don't know if he's changed his name. Lobby is the same. Okay. This game send me friend code? Or do I already have you? Cool. Ratus sees Human Boy lost mainly because of the build. Not much mass to push through, and the Empire had no cav to effectively stop. Yeah, like Captellus and Blackthorn sometimes play Empire with like no cavalry, and it really catches people off guard, and they've bought stuff to prepare for that, and they can't do it. So, we have received the friend code. We're about to make friends, guys. Let's pop open Steam. I feel like I already have Tech Priest as a friend, but... Why is this being weird, Steam? There we go. Friend invite sent. So, we will in a second be able to see Artesian, and there he is. We've invited him. Awesome. The High King will open his book on the appropriate page to see the Dwarf's grudge against these players. Well, Grombrindle, the one problem is, you might have to win a game before you can pick Dwarfs, because your opponent may be rather mean and ban Dwarfs. We do need to switch map, though, I believe, so let's go Alpine Ridge. Ooh. Alpine Ridge is the map. Yeah, Mantide works great against big dinos and cavalry. It's hard to pull out through. 100%. And the meta in that matchup does tend to be something like a Saurus Old Blood and a load of cavalry. So bring in no cavalry of your own for them to target down, and just a massive amount of halberds, swordsmen, free company militia. So it's not even like super easy gun targets. Can be very powerful. I do like Blackthorn's build quite a bit. Imagine if someone picks Dwarfs against Grombrindle. I'm not saying Artesian and Blackthorn, if you're listening, you have to do that, but that'd be wild. That'd be wild for sure. Hope you guys are enjoying the stream though. Looks like we have over 100 people watching now, which is really cool. If you are enjoying, make sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe, and all that standard YouTube stuff. Load of links down below if you want to support the channel, but honestly, just having 100 people here is so crazy, because I know there's like streamers who get like hundreds of thousands of people watching, whatever. But I always picture it. Someone told me it's actually like picture it like you're in a classroom, and how many people that actually is. If I had 100 people watching in one go, that's like multiple classrooms full of people when I was at school watching like me play games. It's really quite awesome. Dwarfs where? Hopefully we'll get to see some dwarfs today. Hoping for some chaos games today. We may well do. Looks like Blackthorn is trying to win over my heart and going Lizardmen himself. Lizardmen, no bans. Blackthorn just whipping out his big scaly one and asking for all challengers to come after him. Looks like we get to see some more high health action today. Hope to make Ducky proud with this. I'm assuming it's Nakai, but I do not know. Stop bullying dragons. What happened to dragons, guys? If banned dwarfs, it will be a grudge that will not be unsubscribed. I love it. Yeah, that's what I mean, Nafis. Like, it's like having 100 people, like, chilling in your room watching. It's so wild. It's really wild to think about. I appreciate the support. You guys turn out, like, every stream. It's wild, honestly. And hopefully you guys enjoy it. That's the main thing. Get Troglodon. Hey, Troglodons are actually pretty cool. The feral ones, for example, are quite nice. I actually like the Pale Death quite a bit. I think it's very underrated and people aren't really utilising it fully. But I would not bring them up against High Elves. They're relatively short range for what they do. And although it's Alpine Ridge, maybe you can do some sneaky shenanigans. But realistically, up against High Elves, just overwhelm them with numbers and kind of bomb rush them. Yes, Kaiser, we have Azure here today. As we all know, chaos is the only true answer. I feel like you've been sent by the chaos gods just to try to corrupt my stream. And it's working. It's working, man. Alright, let's have a little sip of my drink. That'd be the good stuff. I'm just going to go turn my light on, guys. I'll be back in 2 seconds. And Matthew Coffins, you finally caught one of your streams? You have indeed. You have indeed. The dragons have broken breaths and it cannot be seen, and sometimes attack them twice. Oh, that is hilarious. Can someone send me a replay of that? I'd love to do a video on that. And it also gives me an excuse to share it to CA. If anyone has the dragon breath broken stuff, either Grombrindle or Nafis, let me know. But yeah, I'm just going to turn my light on. I'll be back in 2 seconds, guys. And I have returned already. I have returned. I recently found your channel and have been really enjoying your content, but this is my first stream. Welcome! Welcome to the stream, man. Hopefully it's the first of many. We've had quite a few cool games so far. Don't worry, the whole thing will be uploaded as a video by YouTube. It takes a couple of hours before it's fully up normally, but you can watch all of the glorious action. We've still got probably about just shy of an hour left. 45 minutes to an hour, so still plenty of time to enjoy the carnage and the action. Looks like Blackthorn's ready, and Tech Priest is ready, just waiting on me. So let's get this started in here. I can imagine entering your home and seeing duck paintings and duck statues, a full duck-themed house. I wish, man. I would. At some point, someone wanted to send me ducks. Like, they got in contact with me and like, hey, can I send you rubber ducks? I was like, at some point, you just like open one of those, like a PO box or something, and people can just send ducks. It's kind of hilarious. Also, there is a VP-only summon glitch, where sometimes if you overcast a zombie summon, they will instantly die. I mean, that's good, right? We want them to instantly die. Torx is back, baby! We have seen Torx once today, but only once. I do like hearing Torx's opinions on stuff. It tends to be that Torx would kill it. Torx, I have a question for you. I'm sure chat can ask you some questions as well, but it's kind of cool that we actually have Torx Brasspool watching us. But is there anything that can defeat you, Torx? Let me know. Let me know. Not that I need to prepare it just in case you turn up at my house, but just for research purposes. So, our Artesian Tech Priest is going to be the first challenger here of Blackthorn, our newly crowned king, but we all know when a kingship changes hands, it's quite a fragile affair, so I'll have to see if the upstart Artesian Tech Priest West can claim victory, and he is going to be bringing Alarielle the Radiant on her mighty steed here. Tempest and Earthblood. Oh my god, Tempest is going to be so good against this build. There is triple Ripidactyl Riders. We have double Handmaidens of the Everqueen for some long-range pressure. Ranger frontline dotted throughout will do pretty good up against Skinks, will suffer against Saurus. We also have one The grey. Oh, the grey! Regiment of Renowned Shadow Warriors! Oh, hell yeah! Look at their colour scheme! As you'd expect, it is grey, and it looks very cool. We have some archers backing them up. We have the Regiment of Renowned Dragon Princes, the Fireborn, and more Dragon Princes as well. So, triple Dragon Prince build. For... Ha. 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 So, for the forces of the Lizardmen, in their deployment zone, we have a Skink Priest, a Beast, with Amber Spear, and that's it. Oh my god. This is a work of art. So, we have a full Vanguard build. We have Chameleon Stalkers, triple Chameleon Stalkers. We have a load of Skink Skirmishers in the back here as well. We have the Geltblom's Terror, the Regiment of Renown Feral Carnosaur. We have Po Hopak's Cohort in Deep Reserve. We have Ripidactyl Riders, 1, 2, 3, all in a Vanguard position. We must have Oxyotl, surely. Yeah, we do. We have Oxyotl as well, with all of the goodies. He's got Slippery, he's got his Blow Dart, he's got his really useful thing you should always pop, the Master Predator. And it is a full Lizardmen Vanguard approach. Now, let's shoot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no, they don't count as 360, do they? Oh yeah, this is completely legal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, cool. Make sure we didn't have 6 360 shooting units, but Chameleon Stalkers do not count as 360. No, got a new scarf. You got a new scarf? Oh, you got a... Oh! Got a scarf to protect the hole in his throat, right? I love it. Yes. Yes. Cool. But, yeah, this is so funny, because, oh, this is so ridiculous, because the High Elves think that they can't see the enemy build because of the hill. So, like, oh, yeah, we're going on top of the hill, and see what's happening. Oh, no, it's behind you. But, I mean, it's not the end of the world, to be honest, for the High Elves, because they should actually be able to take the high ground, because they didn't go for that defensive a build. Yes, they do have some archers, but the majority of their build was kind of rush-focused, with the triple Dragon Princes and so forth, and the Dragon Princes could cause quite a few problems here. We do have the Geltblom Terror, which I love the fact this thing can Vanguard. It's not necessarily a super useful ability to give it, but by god is it hilarious. You see the High Elves are starting to rally their lines. Little do they know there's actually a tiny little Skink Priest who, if he can get a good line of sight, will reap havoc alongside like some Dragon Princes, for example. But if he's spotted, a unit of Dragon Princes can just float out and kill him. Handmaidens can do some good jobs on the Ripidactyl Riders. Tempest as well is going to cause big problems, I think, for this build in general. Skink Skirmishers, though, and the Chameleon Stalkers should be able to blitz through the Rangers, at least you would hope. But the Stalkers, actually, interesting to see how much damage they do to the Rangers. Dragon Princes definitely want to ride forth and kind of shut down these builds as quickly as possible. These units, just run them over. The Po Hopak Cohort, though, and Geltblom's Terror may be there to countershoot where possible. Ripidactyl Riders are trying to dart, bob, weave left and right to avoid being shot, but it is a tough job for sure. It is a tough job. Stalkers have now emerged. We are going to see the first Tempest go down on the Ripidactyl Riders, who desperately attempt to flee in opposite directions. And it looks like that did work, so only one unit is going to get caught here. And now the Stalkers are amongst the Rangers, but not really doing much damage with their burst shots because of the loose formation of the Rangers. We do have Skink Skirmish as well, raining fire down now. But the Ripidactyls, now that Tempest has been used up, need to get super aggressive and use this time wisely before the next Tempest is back in action. Oxyotl, Master Predator, popped, is focus firing down Alario the Radiant and doing some pretty tasty damage to her. Dragon Princess, though, with a lovely charge in the front. Ripidactyls are not anti-large, only the Regiment of Renown ones are. They are armor-piercing, however, and should do okay up against Dragon Princes. Po Hopak Cohort and Geltblom's Terror have forced their way into the back line, but they could end up meeting the Fireborn, which could be a little bit scary. So it looks like Black Fawn, oh, he thought about going to rear charge into the enemy, which I think would have been a good idea to break the High Elves, but instead is throwing everything at the Fireborn. The Po Hopak plus the Geltblom's Terror. It looks like the Fireborn are not getting healed, I don't think. I think they're all out of the Star of Avalon right now, but they're getting Earthblood. A rear attack from the Ripidactyl Riders would be lovely because the Fireborn are butchering the Po Hopak Cohort at the moment. Dragon Princes slaughtering Lizardmen folk left, right, and centre. Oxyotl is having to get out of there, and you can see the Ripidactyl Riders who landed simply are not packing enough punch there. And the Fireborn, again, healed up nicely there by Alariel, have dispatched the Po Hopak with deft efficiency. Geltblom Terror is surrounded now. Ripidactyls need to come in some rear attacks to try to break down the Fireborn, who have now managed to fall back into the Star, at least to heal for a limited time. Need to be careful though, don't want to fall back too much. Geltblom Terror could munch on Alarielle rather quickly there, but things are going really well for the forces of the High Elves at the moment, as the Skink Skirmisher Stalker front line has been put in its place, and Oxyotl, look how close you have to get to him before he's discovered, has now been spotted. If the Dragon Princes notice this, they can hop on him and kill him in a matter of seconds. Troll Dragon Princes really have paid good dividends here today. Skink Priest is just running around. Looks like he's on 0 kills, so he hasn't done too much so far. Gelblom Terror, though, it finally has been aided by the Riptactyl Riders, and they are munching. They are munching their way through Fireborn right now, which is actually really quite scary. They've been hit by an Earthblood, but the Gelblom Terror, if he assassinates the Handmaidens of the Everqueen, I mean, there's a lot of Dragon Princes left, so maybe it's a little bit too much, but I think he generally is a good choice in this matchup. Carnosaurs have always been good against High Elves, but one who can Vanguard is pretty funny. 8 Pohopak do return to the fight as they hear the glorious roars here of the Gelblom rallying them back to war. Riptactyl Riders as well, really trying to hammer down the Dragon Princes, but it is a little bit too little too late because they've already done the damage and there is no Lizardmen infantry left pretty much. There's drips and drabs coming back, Oxyotl being assassinated by Dragon Princes. We still have some Riptactyl Riders who can try to swarm in here and help support, but the Pohopak have lost heart and decide to flee for their lives. Riptactyl Riders are actually going to be pretty good up against all these rangers. There are anti-infantry. Maybe, just maybe, the Lizardmen do indeed have hope, though a Tempest on this unit of Riptactyls is certainly countering that quite badly. Gelblom Terror needs to hunt down Alarielle. Looks like he is trying to push through, but there's just so many rangers and now Dragon Princes add in their mass to pin in the beautiful beastie. The archers are online. The Handmaids have a lot of ammo left, and they are both focusing down the Terror. He's done a good job so far, but he's starting to suffer. Riptactyl Riders do come back in to try to assist Oxyotl in his great escape. Master Predator has been popped still, but the Dragon Princes do dispatch his help, and now he's isolated alone, much like the poor Gelblom Terror. Seems that the Fireborn did indeed return to the field, looking to duel the mighty beastie. Riptactyl Riders coming in for a frontal assault on the Dragon Princes as the Gelblom takes them from the rear. And I'm interested to see his damage value at the end of this. He's been struggling a little bit, and oh my god, the assassination! Oxyotl 360 no-scoped his way out of that danger zone and used his beautiful blow dart ability just to, bam, dead, kill Alarielle. But, you know, it was a victory for the High Elves, but is it ever a victory when Alarielle doth be slain? I don't know for sure, but yeah, that was pretty wild stuff. That was pretty wild stuff. Our Tazen Tech Priest shall claim victory, however, and all hail the new king. The king is dead, and a new king has been rebirthed and takes his place. 874 damage value on Alarielle, although she was killed at the end. Double Handmaidens, 520 for 484. Not shabby, considering they had so much ammunition left to give to assassinate down the big boy. Rangers across the board fared pretty good, to be honest, because they were good against their targets, and the triple Dragon Princes, 1.3, 1.7, 1.3 damage value, 142, 101, and 27 kills is pretty despicable work. Even the Grey managed to survive a battle, and to be honest, if that's the Grey, that's normally a good day for them. Oxyotl, 1,154 damage value. Nice little snipe at the end there. Skink Priest did do at least one Amber Spear at some point, because he managed to get 866 damage value. Chameleon Stalkers, though, and Skink's really struggling here. Riptactyl Riders, 1,395, 566, and 229 damage value. So you can see the potential, but the other one's falling a bit short. Likewise, the Pohopak struggling, 1.6k though on the Gelblom Terror. Not terrible, considering he was kind of trying to carry the Lizardmen on his back a little bit there. GG, well played. I just see lots of red dots on the mini-mats start appearing. I love it. I love it. So up next, let's do the map Languil, and it shall be Grombrindle to approach us next. Oh my god, what was that? It was amazing. It was amazing. She's just wounded the Ishika will bring her back to her feet in a couple of turns, but will she be the same elf? That's the question. The no-scope was awesome. Oh, for sure. Ouch, says CJ. I agree, CJ. I agree. That was a pretty nasty stuff. I love the fact, I love this idea of Torx wearing a scarf around himself. The High King has arrived. So, tech to pick and ban 2. You cannot play same faction twice. Vertes, I'm afraid now is not your time yet. I've seen you've joined. We'll have to hop you in after because the lag might be quite bad. Looks like our messages aren't going through. Okay, now they are. Hey bud, can you hop out of lobby to stop lag? Finally, a Chad Dwarf player, says Kelligar. He's been waiting all evening for this. All evening. You did win our hearts with full Vanguard in the rear and that last snipe shot in the Lord. Oh, for sure. What Chaos Squad are you most hyped for in Warhammer 3? I have seen that there are little duck units. Like the little derpy bird things. I think that's Zinch. I think. So whatever they're in. They look cool. Yeah, every time she hears the blow dart or something, she's going to have PTSD a little bit. So I believe it was... Let me check the list. It was Grombrindle next, right? Should be. Where'd be my list of victims? Yeah, it's Grombrindle. Cry can't play, so afterwards it'd be Verts. And then Cowboy. We should be able to get through the full list, which is cool, and maybe some of the reserves. Let's pop back in. Tech Priest, I pick Dowie, ban Beastmen and Druchi. Oh no, I would like to make a complaint. Oh my. Gromby versus his own Dowie. Now, I believe Tech Priest does actually play Dwarfs as well. He's quite a good Empire player, if I remember off the top of my head. Slanesh for me. Sly little smiley face. So how'd you get into one of these matches? So, I have a Discord. It's completely free to join. There's a link down below in the description, or I'm sure one of the mods can send you one. But basically, I host all my events there. Like an hour before the event, I'll be like, hey guys, I'm going to host a King of the Hill. First come, first serve. I also do tournaments. That's normally unlimited people. So I'll do something like, I don't know, a couple of days or a week in advance. Like, hey, there's a tournament on this day, and you can sign up there. Yes, yes. Give me demonettes, or give me death, or both, whatever. Oh, no, did I miss my spot? No, Cowboy Bob. You have not missed a spot yet. We have Grombrindle because he got moved in, so Von Karstein said, can Grombrindle take his spot because he couldn't play, so he's in. And then we have Vertes, I believe, and then you, maybe? Oh, so I did just read out the list, but let me have a little look. So, it should all be in King of the Hill. So yeah, it's Grombrindle now, Vertes, then you, Cowboy, because Lunacy can't play. So you're a couple of games away. You may be the last game on stream, though. Imagine if Gromby loses to his main faction. No, you've not missed. Don't worry, Cowboy. You're still good to go, man. I'm gonna try my best to get to you. Big thinking, says Tech Priest. Because that's 3 games, and we've got 35 minutes. We should be able to do that just about. As long as everyone's kind of ready to rumble off the bat, basically. Ooh. Let me have a little sip of my drink. Keep myself alive. I may stream tomorrow, I'm not sure. Logic is hosting a tournament, so I may play in that. If I do, then I probably won't stream. But I will definitely be streaming. If I don't stream tomorrow, I will be streaming Friday. What stream are you guys kind of looking for? Do you want a tournament? Do you want some point of view play? Do you want more King of the Hills? Let me know, and I'll take it into consideration. Or would you like me to play a different game on the channel? If so, what game? Thinking is the main tactic of the dwarves. Oh, it's true. It's true. They do love a little good think. There is actually... So, Games Workshop, like, ages ago, sent me a load of free stuff. Like, I think because I played Total War, they just sent me, like, a goodie box, which had, like, some notepads in and stuff, which I'm actually using right now, I think. They sent me, like, a little Space Marine, and they sent me, like, 15 Warhammer games. And they're all kind of, like, old Warhammer games. I believe one of them was Total War Warhammer. And a load of other stuff, so I've been tempted to play some of them on the channel. I can maybe go for a list of them at the end. One of them, though, is called Warhammer Quest. It is very old. It's so old, my OBS won't pick it up as a game to stream it, but I can just capture my screen and we can put up a background. It'll be a little bit janky and weird, but it is possible for me to stream that game to you guys, and I'm kind of tempted. It's basically like D&D dungeon crawling in the Warhammer universe, and the game is, like, ancient, but it might be good fun. I've just done the tutorial, and who knows? So I might stream that at some point. It does look a little bit wild. What's up, Brian? How are you doing today? Good evening. Good evening to you as well. You've made it in the tail end of the stream, but we've still got a little while left to go. We've still got a little while. Bad maps, Tawny. We will do that at some point, don't worry, CJ. Next week, Wednesday, we'll be streaming a faction war. No, a clan war, sorry. Between DBD and Ema. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. Hope you guys have been enjoying the stream so far. It's been fun. We are now on Langwill, the glorious Bretonian map, which some people think's not super balanced. I don't think it's terrible. I think it's fine to kind of have in tournaments. There's, you know, advantages of both sides, but all around I don't think it's horribly, like, broken or anything. Which reminds me, up next we should definitely do Battle of Itza. So currently, Human Boy is leading the way with his 3 victories. Blackthorn got 1. And then Tech got 1. Which I do realise I have not updated the scoreboard. I will do that in just a second. Because we now do have Grombrindle on the field. Chad Forrick, as he's currently known as, I think. Origin with bad maps. How about that? Oh. Yeah, it's still the Blackthorn on the screen. Yeah, we'll change it in just a second. I don't want to ult out of the game because it likes crashing when you do that. Warhammer Quest is pretty fun as a D&D fan. It really reminded me of the combat. Cool. So now the players have loaded in. Let's quickly pop to OBS. Gromby. Oh, I'll pick Crombie. Oh no. Gromby, there we go. So put him in the middle. And we'll change the scores around. So Grombrindle, unfortunately, does not start on 1. He is 0. He is the challenger to our new king. All hail the mighty tech priest himself. He comes from a future where machinery rules the world. So for the forces of the dwarfs, it's quite tough going up against someone who mains a faction. So obviously Grombrindle, who's taking charge of the Lizardmen here, will know all the ins and outs of this matchup because he's played it from the dwarf perspective so many times. So for the dwarves, we have longbeards with great weapons, with the Peak Gate Guard, regiment-renowned hammerers, who can dish it out with the best of them. We have longbeards with great weapons slotted all the way along, it seems, so quite elite in fairness. Some dwarf warriors as well. We have slayers, 1, 2, 3 units in fact, a central core of Ulfar raiders, as well as thunderers, who are double silver chevron, if I'm not mistaken. So basically, a load of longbeards with dwarf warrior great weapons, hammerers, slayers, a tiny gun line, and Thoric Ironbrow leading the way. Now, going very wide is very powerful for dwarves. I'm going to do a video on this relatively soon. I think dwarves actually, though I know a lot of dwarf mains are going to disagree with me, are in much better position than they were pre-Thoric Ironbrow. Not only is the Rune of Speed really nice, the Rune of Doom, map wide plus 24 melee attack, unlimited casts, and going wide with dwarves, it was already good. It can be really disgusting and powerful, but yeah, there are good counters to dwarves still, nonetheless. For Chad Forrick, we have Oxyotl. I have mixed feelings about him in this matchup. He's basically uncatchable. And the dwarfs, he's always going to be able to use up all his ammo, but he does magic damage. And for someone like Thoric on his anvil, it's just, you're going to do no damage to him, basically. The main line is Cohort of Sotek mixed in with Red-Crested Skinks, dotted all the way along, going very wide with Kroxigor as well. 1, 2, 3, 4 of the bad boys. So a lovely little just bomb rush your opponent attempt. Skink Priest of Beast coming in with Manticore Summon, Amber Spear and Flock of Doom. Amber Spear going to be very good if you can catch some of those elite Dowie warriors. And in the back burner, we actually have 4 units of Chameleon Stalkers. Should do relatively effectively good work up against Slayers, also shutting down the Thunderers and All-Far Raiders. But honestly, it's kind of the wide melee rush from the Dwarfs here, which might catch out the Lizardmen player just a little bit here. Andrea, tuning in here. Hello, Rubber Duck. I asked you 6 months ago or so, will you do more faction guides soon? Big fan. I actually did record half a Lizardmen updated faction guide because they've changed so much, and I accidentally deleted the recording because I'm an idiot. And I was clearing out video stuff, so I need to redo that. I probably will do faction guides after the hot fix, because then Total War Warhammer 2 will not be receiving any more DLCs or updates, I don't think. Maybe a early release something if you like pre-order Total Warhammer 3. So that's when I'll probably do faction guides for everyone. But yeah, I will certainly try to in the future. Why do people put chevrons on range units? For the majority of the time, it's so they fire quicker. It's really useful on units like Trollhammer Torpedoes. I can certainly see it being good on Thunderers. You just want that extra reload skill, really. Action and stuff helps, but it's all about that reload. Get off that extra volley or two. Dwarfs are going very wide here, but Oxyotl is going to be firing down the line. Look how close he is to those Dwarfs, and this is going to enable him to get multiple kills per shot, which is quite useful, although he has been spotted now by Dwarf Warriors, but rather sneakily, he's going to run away. Oh my god, the Amber Spear! The Amber Spear guided by the old ones themselves. The Skink Priest may have cost himself his life, but he just eviscerated the Peak Gate Guard and All-Far Raiders. He didn't know the Raiders were there. Those guys, I believe, do come in with Stalk, but he captured both units. And now the Red-Crested Skinks should be able to overwhelm that central core. It did cost the Skink Priest almost his life. He's got popped cold-blooded, just trying to outrun the Slayers at the moment. He should be able to flee back for his own troops. What a shot. What a shot, an overcast one there indeed. The Red-Crested Skinks and Kroxigor moving around this flank, and you can see the Longbeards are being overwhelmed. Rune of Doom, though, it has gone down, meaning they're going to start trading pretty cost-effectively. Kroxigor do have Marked by All-Far popped on them, but not before they do dispatch the remainder of the Peak Gate Guard. Those Rangers themselves looking a little bit weak and bewildered right now. Dwarf Warriors are great weapons, mixed in now with Slayers are dragging their way through Kroxigor. The Chameleon Stalkers need to speed up as fast as possible so they can deal with those Slayers, and the Thunderers are comfortably still firing in. Kroxigor just holding on. Oh my god, look at their leadership. They just cling on, and that could end up being super clutch here for Grombrindal because they now can shut down the Thunderers. Master Rune of Speed has been popped on them, however, so actually giving it back a little bit as good as they get, and we have Slayers hot on pursuit. Should be able to finish off the Kroxigor and save the Thunderers there. We do have Dwarf Warriors eating quite a few precursor weapon shots from the Chameleon Stalkers here. Left-handed flank is looking very messy right now. We do have some Slayers here, but the Kroxigor are starting to overwhelm them. Left-hand flank certainly being dominated by the Lizardmen, but in the centre and the right-hand side, the Dwarves are holding a Bugman Brew high and getting some really good success here. Red-Crested Skinks are surrounded by them Kroxigor, but also a bucket ton of Slayers, and Slayers are the name of the game today. Skink Priest may go down as well to Thunderer Pressure, but it seems like they have actually given up hope on that. Interesting to see if he comes in with 1 or 2 more shots at some point off that juicy Amber Spear. Chameleon Stalkers have started to surround Slayers, but Thoric Ironbrow is here, and he is scary. The Chameleon Stalkers, though, are starting to overwhelm Dwarf Warriors with the support of the Cohort of Sotek and the Kroxigors, really grinding their way through the Dwarf build right now. Balance power basically still dead even. Right, oh my god, look at the amount of Dwarfs still left alive. The Peak Gate Guard, they've taken some losses today, but they're coming back into the action with a gusto. Dwarfs, unfortunately, have allowed their Thunderers to be caught here. They've kind of spread out a little bit too much, although that's also due down to the good play of the Lizardman player to pick apart and drag apart the Dwarf build. Thunderers will now be going down. I mean, they're good in melee, you know, for range troops, but double Chameleon Stalkers is a bit too much here. Kroxigor going to start pounding down the Longbeards, though there still is 31 Slayers nearby, which is pretty scary. Oxyotl is opening up his blowed up pipe kit and continue to rain fire down where possible. Longbeards still getting dragged down. Slayers down to just 4 models. Balance power is starting to go in the favour of the Dino Boys, but they're getting a lot of Dwarf infantry left alive, particularly if Thorgrim can stay alive here, or Thoric, sorry, Thoric Ironbrow stay alive, and give them, you know, the big buffs when he needs to. But there is a problem, and I heard it. And it is a Manticore summon that has been birthed into the world. Unfortunately, it was birthed quite a long way away from the battlefield. Skink Priest just trying to stay alive and get off spells where he can. It probably wants to go after Thoric Ironbrow because there is nothing that's really good left in the Lizardman build to slaughter him. At least not in any quick capacity. But it looks like instead he's just going to chuck the Manticore in to this big Dwarf box and try and reap as much havoc and carnage as possible, as quickly as possible, which isn't a bad idea whatsoever. Thunderers have actually been able to escape here and fall away from the Chameleon Stalkers, dragging them through Slayers and Longbeards. Longbeards would be happy to take that fight, Slayers will not. Rune of Doom, once again, it goes down, and it looks like that third Manticore has now been dragged into the Thunderers, which is really good target priority coming in here by Grombrindle, because he knows what he needs to do there. Crocscore pushing forward, just swarm after swarm of skinks still alive. Coda Sotek looking very healthy with 66 models as well. Can continue to start to apply pressure. Manticore will be dissipating soon, but not before he terrifies off those Thunderers down to just 19 models. Oxyotl is trying his best to snipe Thoric Ironbrow, but I'm telling you guys, he is 120 armor with a ridiculous 40% magic resistance stacked on top of 15% missile resistance. Oxyotl has a really rough time up against them. Chameleon Stalkers are still doing okay. The Slayers are going down, but there's a lot of Longbeards and Dwarf Warriors with Great Weapons left alive. Thoric is now being assassinated by Crocsgorn. This is one of the best bets I think the Lizardmen have to finish him off right now. Apart from, of course, breaking this army. It looks like Peak Guard may go down. All Thor Raiders have returned, but not for long. Oxyotl is on their case, firing down the rank here. Each blow dart should actually get him a couple of kills. If he lines this up right, bam, down the line, and oh my god, quad! A quad headshot from Oxyotl. He is definitely one of those kids who used to play like Call of Duty, and he's just transferred into this game. The Dwarfs kind of going strong though. Advanced Power does not like them whatsoever, but Chameleon Stalkers are just doing nothing to the Longbeards. We do have going to have buffs and magic coming in as well by that priest, if the priest still lives, but the priest may well be gone here. Yes, King Priest is broken. I don't know if I agree. The Dwarfs might hold on here. Crocsgore are a problem. We have 5 there and 10 Crocsgore. That's the big unit. That is the unit to kill, because that could defeat a lot of this infantry. We have like no Slayers left. Oh no, 28 Slayers! 28 Slayers. Okay, they need to duel the Crocsgore, and so does Thoric Ironbrow. Mastering the speed has gone down here, and a lot of the Lizardmen infantry is starting to waver. Oxyotl is going to continue to rain shots in from afar. The Coda Sotek having a fabulous time, but the balance of power could prove to be wrong here. Some more Stalkers are going to emerge from the sneaky shadows, as well as some Red-Crested Skinks, and if they can start getting rear attacks here into the infantry of the Dwarfs, then it could be a good night, sweet prince for the Dwarfs. And you can see the Warriors starting to waver, and the Slayers, though they did amazing damage to the Crocsgore, Grombrindle is a very experienced tournament player. He knows when to cut his losses, pull out with the Crocsgore, allow the Stalkers to deal with the Slayers, because if the Slayers go down here, the Dwarfs should have no problem. Oxyotl continue to do his 360 no-scopes into the face of Thoric, and he will eventually drag him down, particularly with the scaling damage. That will help somewhat in the later stages of the game. Stalkers, Red-Crested Skinks. The good news for the Lizardmen, and this is kind of a problem for Dwarfs in general, is Dwarfs can't chase off any of these routing troops. A lot of Stalkers and so forth have returned to the fray, and they just chuck themselves at the Dwarfs time and time again. Rune of Doom has gone down. That extra negative to leadership is quite crucial here. Crocsgore starting to look a little bit shaky on their feet. Oxyotl, the slow grind does continue. But as we said before, Chameleon Stalkers simply going to keep going back. This other unit has rallied, chucking more and more bodies on the line. Whereas the Dwarfs, it takes them a long time to get back into the action. Longbeards have gone down. Without them to hold the line, the Dwarfs do get ground down. What an absolutely insane game. Very well played to the lads. That was a very close scrap, but the Dinos, my people, do claim victory in the end there. That was insane. This party still happening. Cat Morgan, almighty King of Ducks. This party is always happening. This is some really cool stuff. Wait, Grombrindle is the lizard. He is indeed. He is hiding as the Lizardmen here today. Artesian Tech Priest, again, only holding on for one game. Oh, just dropped my pen there. Oh, so he will join Blackthorn. Both of them did indeed get one victory, but Grombrindle It's his time to shine. He has a bit of work to do, though. Human Boy did himself get 3 victories, but there is a new king. No Gromby, no Gromby has won. Gromby has won. Here's Chad Forrick, Artisan Tech Priest, brought the beloved dwarfs against Grombrindle here today. 618 damage value on Forrick Ironbrow. The great weapons across the board, but pretty solid work. The hammers, though, that Amber Spirit at the start of the game won the game, basically. Imagine if that didn't go off. The Peak Gate Guard would have cleaned up a lot of what remained at the end there. And all across the board, the Dwarf Warriors did pretty solid damage value, kind of, around the 500, 600 mark. Slayers, 463, 1,117, 1,722. Yeah, the Slayers, real MVPs today. Thunderers, 726. Not bad, but they were, of course, double silver chevroned. Oxyotl, 1,340 damage value, though he used up pretty much all his ammunition. But still, he's tough to catch and eventually got his man. 1,667 damage value and 87 kills from the Skink Priest. Beautiful work there by Grombrindle and the Skink Priest. Red Crested did okay across the board, nothing outstanding. These last units performed a bit better, 755 and 852 damage value. Croc scores as well, mixed bag. Most of them not actually paying for themselves, kind of 560, 643, 863, and 944 damage value. Stalkers kind of in the late game, pretty clutch though, and it really did come down to breaking off the Dwarf troops, and that is what won the game. GG! And yet I thought you had ordinary hammerers. Another grudge to the Damazkron. Indeed, indeed. So, we will go Einstein as the next. I will update the scoreboard. Actually, let's see who's in next. I believe it is going to be the man, the myth, the legend, Vertes, I believe. And then we have Cowboy. So you guys got 2 games left. What is your name on my Discord? Vertes, there you are. You are up. And then we're going to have Cowboy Bob afterwards. So let's quickly change the score. Gromby, 1-0. The new king doth rise. Tech Priest, though, was a glorious king for his short reign there. And unfortunately has now gone down. But with some really awesome games throughout. So let us change the name here. Now, I'm trying to find you in chat so I don't misspell your name. There you are. Vertes. Vertes, I believe it is. There you go. She up the... Oh, no. Oh, no. How's that? There we go. Cool. I clicked the wrong thing. There we go. I was accidentally going to move the complete screen. And let's make Gromby's name a bit bigger. There we go. That's better. That's more bold. We will be switching overlays soon. I really need to do it. Some awesome people in the community have indeed made some awesome stuff that we will be using in the future. What's up, Hoff? Great disguise. He looks just like a dwarf. Happy duck noises, for sure. Chad Forrick killing a Forrick. Yeah, honestly, Chameleon Stalkers, I think the majority of people were wrong about them, myself included, when they first came out. Didn't think they were going to be amazing. They're actually pretty damn good. Hey. So, Gromby to pick and ban 2. Should have used Taurox. I agree, man! Like, there's been not enough Taurox today. I was bamboozled the whole game. It was a good game, man. It was a good game. Yes, Mark! Mark is the man. Those who don't know Mark, he actually has a YouTube channel where he showcases the new overlay system that we're going to be testing out. I'll try and get it up and running for Friday's stream. That'll be my goal. That'll be my goal. To get it up and running for Friday's stream so we can test it out. And if it works, then we can use it for the Clan War next Wednesday. And we'll probably do Death Before Dishonor, the next qualifier, on Thursday. Oh my god. Grombrindle! What has happened, guys? Grombrindle hasn't picked dwarfs. He's picked high elves. What? I'm so confused. I am so confused. Grombrindle, the dwarf main, the hater of all things pointy-eared and elvish, has picked The sub-faction for Elfarian, Batman, is in town tonight. I'm very surprised. Elfarian is the one of the 2 elves he likes. So it looks like he likes Elfarian. Hey brother, I know this is my player, but you have any advice for Lizardmen campaign in the early game and Lords? Well, hello, Mao VMP. All round, Sorcerer, at least from, it depends on the difficulty. I haven't done a campaign in quite some time. But, I would suggest just spamming Saurus, man. Spam Saurus. If you're a a new player and you're looking to a fun campaign, which isn't too challenging, go Gorok, you get Lord Croak at the start, get a load of Saurus, and just have fun eviscerating units with the Deliverance of Itza, which is the magic spell from Lord Croak. If you're a more experienced player, though, yeah, Saurus are going to be your main victory point, unless you're on something like Legendary, where a lot of infantry tends to really struggle. Combat infantry, you're going to want to spam range. A load of Chameleon Skinks, a load of Skink Skirmishers in the early game in particular. Obviously, you can't get the camos. So a load of Skink Skirmishers, a load of Skink cohorts of Javelins, and all that good stuff. And it looks like we're getting Elves versus Lizardmen once more, which is pretty damn exciting. Didn't go too well for the Lizardmen last time, but I think Blackthorn was memeing a little bit as well, the full Vanguard build. Yeah, I like the Stalkers as well. So Gromby likes the sub-faction. It's Gromby, what I know, I'm so confused. Grombrindle has a good taste in elves? It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun for sure. I really like how low-key Alfarian is. I guess he's less dramatic than Imric. Less dramatic than Imric. So we've got 2 games left for you boys still. We have Vertes, and the winner of this will go on to, of course, face Cowboy Bob. Cowboy Bob. The man, the myth, the legend. Man, this is Lizardmen 4th time in a row, I think? Possibly, but I mean, they can only play the same faction once, so it's just each king who's popped in. Someone's played Lizardmen at some point, whether or not. Although Lizardmen haven't won all of them. We did, unfortunately, see some dinosaurs go down. Some of them have, unfortunately, gone down. To be honest, Alfarian is probably the coolest, and Elgi can aspire to be awesome as a Dowie. I quite like Alifanar. Alifanar, lore-wise, I think is a bit of a badass. I don't know so much about Alfarian's lore, apart from he's a bit grumpy and very Batman-esque. Very Batman-esque. He does indeed like being a cowboy. Let's have a little sip of a drink. That's good stuff. Thoughts on Lizardmen cavalry units? They're a weird unit. A lot of people will say their cavalry is bad, and then you get quite a few people who say their cavalry is underrated. So, that tends to kind of come out to it's in the middle somewhere. Cohen Riders are good. I mean, they will beat a lot of lower tier cavalry. The problem Lizardmen have, apart from Rampage, which is a big problem with cavalry, you do not want cavalry to Rampage. It can be remedied slightly with Cold-Blooded, but at the same time, having like Horned ones, so it's so expensive to Rampage into the enemy, is a nightmare. But they will do good in isolated fights, overwhelming the enemy. It gives some much needed speed to the Lizardmen as well. So yeah, a little bit underrated, but again, the lack of speed is kind of their biggest problem. They don't have any light cavalry, which does tend to dominate at the moment in the meta, kind of like light skirmish cav and other such units. Though we've seen far less of them actually since the DLC and the patch. There's a lot less kind of every game being skirmish focused, which I really enjoy because I was getting very ground down with greenskin skirmish meta. And I know some people don't like the bugs that are in the game at the moment, which is fine, obviously. They're bugs. They will be disappearing soon. But like people wanted to go like back a couple of patches to host tournaments, and they asked me if I wanted to cast it. I can't do it. I don't want to face the same greenskin build every time. Because for me, at least personally, best of threes basically became best of ones. Like, you'd pick greenskins, and then your opponent would pick greenskins, and then you play the game, you know? So, I'm glad it is as it is. I don't even know how I got onto that tangent, apologies. Elfrion loves his home and won't rest until it's safe. Won't you love to live under a lord like that? Well, it depends, Nafis, because he's probably a bit of one of those guys of, like, the the ends justify the means, you know? He's probably done a lot of effed up stuff to protect his family and his home, but is he really a good guy? I don't know, yeah. Last meta was rough. It was, yeah, I agree, Cowboy Bob. I'm much happier with the current meta. I've seen a hugely improved amount of styles and builds and different tactics than we saw before. Like, hugely vast, and it's really nice. It's really nice. So, 2 games to go. Will the King Grombrindle hold on to his crown, or will we have a fight to the death between 2 newcomers in the next round? Let's have a little look. So, we're on Ironstand Desert, relatively small map. Now, the player, complete for his name again, oh my god. My memory is terrible. I bet it's Vertza. Let's have a look, see if I can find him in chat. Where are you, my friend? I can't come out of the game and look for your name, because I don't want it to crash. But anyway, he did say that his PC was a little bit potato. So it may take a little while to load in, but that won't affect the actual connection of the game, which is good. Meanwhile, Imric drags you across deserts and jungles for his personal glory. So did Alexander the Great, and we rep him hard, man. We rep him hard, us humans. We're like, he's the greatest. That's why he's got great in his name. So, you know, Imric's kind of got an Alexander the Great vibe to a point. Right, while these guys do load in, I'm back in 2 secs. I'm just going to grab my phone charger so I can actually view chat on my phone. It's down to 2% battery, so I will be right back. I shall leave Captain Morgan in charge of chat for the next, like, 2 minutes. I am nearly there. Oh, let me plug this in. Boop! Awesome, I'm back. Well, nearly. Very nearly. Oh. And here we go. Imric is a good guy. The proactive attitude, my favourite. He's very proactive. More proactive than most elves. That's like the one problem with Tyrion, right? He just wants to sit around and defend his land, which I understand. I mean, the old ones would probably like him. Yeah, Alexander the Great was a very good tactician. Arguably the best in history. It depends. I mean, you can't really compare these things across eras, of course, because there's some like really good, like World War II, for example, commanders and the like, and you can't really compare them to something like, you know, Alexander the Great, who was a very good tactician. Genghis Khan, though we do kind of villainize him, did revolutionize the Mongolian nation, and was very ahead of his time as well with the cavalry. He kind of managed to conquer a lot of the land. There's huge amounts, yeah. Attila the Hun, Alexander the Great, Hannibal, who's probably my favourite general of all time, is very cool. You have, I can't remember his name. It's not Pyrrhus. It's something along that. It's where we get Pyrrhic from. Is actually a Greek general as well, who kind of dominated Italy for a short time. Who's Imladric? Is he different than Imric? Yeah, Napoleon, of course. Napoleon. And then you have, like, Wellington, of course, who kind of got him in the end eventually. But Napoleon kind of made the big mistake of invading Russia. There was a Swedish king as well, who performed amazing work. There was actually a big Swedish empire for quite some time. But again, fell foul of invading Russia. But he was quite revolutionary for his time as well. Good use of cavalry still. The Swedish cavalry was kind of ridiculous. And this was in the time of guns. So there's loads. There's loads of... Yeah, I can't pronounce the name. Oh no, Pyrrhus? Hopefully it's Pyrrhus, but yes. Yes. But Pyrrhus was honestly a very good general, though Pyrrhic victory came from him because he won so many battles, but he lost so many people at the same time. But he was a very bold general, and that's one of the kind of biggest traits you can get. You're driving right now? Oh no! I mean, feel free to listen to me, man, but, you know, make sure to pay attention to the road. I wouldn't want anything, bad to happen, of course. I have been in a car crash before. It was not nice. I was asleep at the time, but I got really bad whiplash. I wasn't driving, don't worry. I wouldn't vote for Techless because he's a nerd, says Nickbert. Oh no, you're not going to load. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. Yeah, I mean, they got defeated a few times as well. Because they did try to fall back out of Russia. I think eventually seeked asylum somewhere. And then kind of came back later on, tried to invade Denmark and stuff. But yeah, it was really cool. So you can go a game with the same builds, but I don't know if Vertes, yeah, his game seems to have crashed. Oh no. We can try one more time with same builds. If not, we'll have to move on to Cowboy Bob. Yeah, it's not nice at all, man. Saladin, yeah. There's a lot of great tacticians throughout history. Of course, also, you have Alfred the Great, for example, managed to fend off against the Vikings, and maybe not the best, like, warrior himself, but a very good tactical mind, building defensible, like, boroughs, basically, which often stopped how the Vikings used to raid. It kind of really revolutionized how the English eventually learned to deal with the Vikings, because in the early years, man, they just got obliterated, but the tail was eventually turned. I am in chat. Yes. You can try one more time, man. If it doesn't work, we'll just have to move on to Cowboy Bob, because it's getting a little bit late here. Because I was going to stream for 2 hours, but obviously I'm happy to go over a little bit. Particularly because the stream did start a little bit late. I do not think we have you on the friends list, though. Let's just send another message. Cool. We'll see. Oh, Admiral Yi, of course. Admiral Yi. Yeah, Admiral Yi is a, oh god, I don't want to butcher this. I believe a Korean general who fought off the Japanese at sea. And I highly, highly recommend looking into him. I believe Extra History has a really accessible series on him. And yeah, he is one of the most badass generals of all time. In, like, impossible odds type thing. Like, time and time again winning these impossible odds. Tell people that Imladric is not Imric. I don't like Imric, but I like Imradic already. It was an elf who took the side of the dwarfs during the War of Vengeance. No way. We've got to look him up. Maybe we can ask, like, Lore Master to do a lore video on him or something. Also, the advisors E-Tech, yeah, of course. But particularly in Ancient Warfare, it did tend to be kind of just the top dogs looking through a lot of this stuff. But yeah, you can look at teams, you can look at nations as well, and how they performed at the time. And often, these things come at the right time, right? Like, certain people come to power. Alexander the Great, for example, his father had already kind of reinvented Macedonia into a fighting force, so he can't just take them and then, you know, improve on them, of course still, but then could go on his crusade, which, if the time was worse, he might not be able to do that. As the story tells us, he's the only one who really likes dwarves. That's very cool. Cool. Vertes, if you'd like to hop back in the lobby, bud, we will get this underway as quickly as possible. Let's send him a PM. Cool, cool. I'm gonna shoot the same builds and stuff. Oh, go after him? Yeah, sure. We can see if that's possible. Oh, so where he tried to help the dwarves, or when it happened, he was foe? Oh no, I feel like this is a story where the dwarves kill him. Okay, Cowboy Bob, if you'd like to hop in. Boom, boom, boom. You are up. Cool. We're going to try with Cowboy Bob one more time. And then we're going with Vertsev afterwards. What's up, Aloys? How's it going, champion? Hope you're all good today. Quag, back for a short run. Love it, Blackthorn. How are you doing today? Enjoyed your games earlier on. And now we're going to have Cowboy Bob facing off up against Chad Forak. Forced to fight on the side of the elves. In his last battle, he fought a duel with his best dwarven friend. Oh, I knew it! I knew it! The way that the story was lining up, I was like, yeah, he's going to have to fight his friend. So, let's quickly update the scoreboard. So we have Cowboy Bob. Yeah, we'll just do Cowboy for now. Oh no. Cowboy Bob seems to have left. Someone come back to me. Dowie are just misunderstood. As much as I love the Dowie, they tend to come off as the bad guys in most scenarios. Someone scratched my beard, bear lop off their heads. Well, in that situation, actually, it's kind of the Dark Elves' fault. They raided dwarves dressed as High Elves. The dwarves sought peace, in fairness. And we're like, hey, why are you doing this? But the High Elves, in their, they didn't want to look like, you know, like we messed up with High Elves, right? We're quite proud. So they didn't mention the Dark Elves to the dwarves. Instead, they insulted the king's brother and shaved off his beard, which is very dishonourable, of course, amongst dwarvish folk. And that's what started the war. So, honestly, it's kind of... I know it's the Dark Elves' fault in a way, but it's also kind of the High Elves' fault. He died in this fight, but the dwarves allowed the elf's dragon to take him to his wife and children. Interesting. I'm sorry for messing up the stream. No worries, man. It happens. It happens. Imric hates the dwarves because they stole dragon treasures, so they basically are the bad guys in that scenario. True, but you know, it could just be that they, how's that see? Hopefully he's fine. He like dropped in and out of the game like 3 or 4 times. What kind of stats Rubber Duck have? Most likely no armor piercing. They got beaks, so I'd argue they have armor piercing. I would argue a duck would have armor piercing. If we're talking full rubber, then it might have to be the fact. It'd be weak to fire probably, right? Because it's rubber, so it would melt. But if you, the more like damage you do to it, it gives off like fumes. It's like a Mortis engine effect, that the more damage it takes, the more it kills around it. That'd be quite cool. Okay. Well, Cowboy Bob, we can... I will rehost lobby as Cowboy. Says chat is broken. Yeah, ducks definitely have magic damage and a bonus versus bread. Cool. Apologies for this. Oh, Steam... Oh no, it's not. Steam's not down. Okay, good. Steam went down at the start of the stream and it was like, no! Ducks have high melee attack, low melee defense, frostbite, and armor piercing. Ducks just need everything. I do not remember what map we're on. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, Einstein Desert. Oh, I'm so good. I'm so good at my job. They definitely got the aquatic trait for sure. Wood Elves definitely have good reason to hate Dwarfs because they chop down Athalauren to fuel their war machines. So yeah, that in that part they're 100% true. Yeah, they burnt Athalauren for industry. Yeah, Dwarves are certainly bad guys in that scenario. I'm here, chat's still bugged. That's fine, we can play. They're basically Saruman in Lord of the Rings. In that instance, yes, but the Dwarves have done a lot of good as well, particularly helping out the Empire. So, you know, some good, some bad. Okay, he's still picking Yvres, which is very cool. Ban Beastmen, Bretonia. Cool. And let's get this party started. I think this will have to be the last game, guys, because we've overgone our time quite a bit. So I think this will most likely be the last one, because we struggled to get in Vertes before. It just wouldn't let him like load the game. Yeah, you can use this chat, Cowboy, it's fine. He's picked and banned, Cowboy. He's already gone for it. He's picked the Everest, banned Beastmen and Bretonia. Let us know if you are going Empire. I wonder if he can. I hopefully he can see chat. Yeah, we've been going for 2 hours at least, I think, so far. Yeah, there's no objectively good factions apart from Lizardmen, because we're kind of the coolest. Cool. He says he will go Empire. Good stuff. Okay, I'll play next time. Yeah, sorry, man. It's all fine as well. Don't worry about the PC like crashing or whatever. It happens to everyone, bro. Don't worry about it. Sorry, man. It's like nearly 9:30 here. I haven't cooked or anything yet. Got a busy schedule. So we were meant to be finished about 20 minutes ago, but I'm going to go over on time, obviously, to give you guys a good show, and let these lads continue to scrap it out. Yeah, every faction's flawed and stuff. And from my view, though, the Jedi are evil, if you know what I'm saying. Okay, sweet. This is a rough matchup again for High Elves. We have seen it before. We have seen it. Yeah, although the Lizardmen did kind of, at least in old lore, I think we're talking about Gromblin, I don't think this is so much in new lore anymore. Mazdamundi did accidentally shift the tectonic plates, which kind of opened up big holes underneath the Dowie holds, and then Skaven and Goblins rushed in. But I think that may have been retconned, so it's not actually the case. In which case, yeah, Lizardmen kind of just do their vibe, you know? No, CJ, this is the last game. This is going to be the last one. Ready, good luck, have fun. Sweet, Fork is ready to rumble. Just waiting on the man, the myth, the legend, Cowboy Bob now. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. It's been a really fun chat with you guys and streaming. It's been like a really good couple of days and a really bad couple of days at the same time. So streaming is very nice. I got to go home, see a load of my old uni friends, which was really cool. I do like realize how much I miss doing like acting and stuff at uni, but it was still very good fun. Saw a load of cool people. Went out and saw Suicide Squad 2, which was an amazing movie. And also found out I've got to have, I think, probably 2 lots of surgery again, which is really frustrating because I already had like surgery twice this year, and now I've got the same problem on my other foot, so I have to have surgery on that. And yeah, it's a pain in the butt. I just want to do sport again. I'm going to do sport in like a year. I came back and played for like a month. I went hiking, did 1 game of football, and then they're like, yeah, back to hospital with you. Would you fall for... Oh, who would you fall for in Warhammer? Oh, good question. Good question. As in, like, fall in love with? I mean, me and Krogar would have a lot in common. No, I'm joking. Me and Grimlock, of course. I don't know. The Blood Rat Medusa, man. Blood Rat Medusa is a badass lady for sure. I think she would be rather evil, but I'd be that guy who's like, nah, she's not as bad as you think. She's not that toxic, but in reality, she's like spitting venom on people. Hey, halflings are evil. They eat potatoes. Potatoes have feelings too. Oh, not Marathi. No, I don't vibe with the whole Marathi thing. In reality, you'd probably want to live somewhere safe, like in the middle of Ulthuan or something. Just be like a rich elf. Gonna go, thanks for the stream, GG's, and thanks for the company chat. No worries, Blackthorn, thank you for being one of the greatest mods of all time, as always. So, for the forces of the Empire and Cowboy Bob looking to dethrone Grombrindle, we have Swordsman. 1, 2, one of which is Sigma Sons, and a load of Spearmen. We also have Double Caster. Oh no, it's a Warrior Priest. Okay, cool. I thought it was a Witch Hunter briefly then. So Warrior Priest coming in with all of his buffs, as well as Scroll of Shielding, and the Wizard has Manticore Summon and Flock of Doom. Interesting choice there. No one's used the Prey today. The Prey is such a powerful spell. It's probably the best in the lore in my opinion right now. Maybe Flock of Doom, but yeah, it's close. We have Vault Mother Grim with all the goodies, once again, and a bucket ton of Knights. We have Empire Knights, 2 lots. Oh my god, Cowboy Bob living his best cowboy life. Double Demigryph Knights looking really badass. Their armor is so cool. And we also have some Outriders as well for long-range support. For the forces of the High Elves and the mighty Grombrindle, we have Alfarian the Grim riding in the sky and teleporting around the battlefield right now. I don't know the name of his beast, but it does look rather impressive, for it's a red devilish eye. Coming in with the Helm of Ygritte, we have the Fang Sword of Elfarian, Fiery Convocation, Soul Quench, and Apotheosis, looking to bring the pain to the enemy. We have a mixture of Spearmen and White Lions for the front line. We have 1 unit of Sisters of Avalon in the back, protected by the Pure Main Company. Not only do they look cooler, they hit harder, and they give Guardian. Really cool colour scheme with the gold and red, always a good combination. Armor Sundering as well as Guardian. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 archers as well. Actually, one of those is the Sisters, maybe? Oh no, it is 4 archers. So 4 archers, and yeah, going to be looking pretty good. Double Lynn Reavers in the back lines. I'm very excited to see how this one comes out. Let's face it, no one can resist Volkmar's moustache. It's true. At least he's cuddly. Yeah, that's the problem. Like, if you wanted to fall in love with someone from the Warhammer, they're all like evil, or they're all like horrible, or they're all out in war. Like, yeah, I don't know. Most of the ladies in Warhammer are pretty evil, so I don't know. I don't know if I'd go for any of them at the end of the day. But anyway, the forces of Sigma Sons and Swordsmen are pushing forwards at the moment, looking to get to grips with the enemy. The Outriders are doing some pretty nice damage onto Alfarian the Grim right here, who may go for a very risky attack on the Amber Wizard. I think he's in a point-blank range Soul Quench. Bam! Straight down, doing some nice damage, but I don't think it was worth it. Look at the amount of damage he took in return. And we're going to see a Manticore Summon come up. But, you know, he's got Apotheosis, he can heal himself as well, so maybe if 1 or 2 more Soul Quenches, he might be able to break down the Amber Wizard. The Bowfire is singing. This is what the Elves are good at, their bowcraft. They're really whittling down the Sigma Sons and Swordsmen in the front line. White Lions should have no problem in carving open their opposition when they do meet them now. Empire Knights could be a bit of a problem though, and certainly with some good cycle charging could overwhelm this Elvish force, who is really relying quite heavily on the Bowfire. White Lions have engaged the colour scheme, so cool, of the sub-faction here of Alfarian. Looks like the War Priest is going to get in there and dish out the damage. Manticore going after the archers. I don't think that's the end of the world, though, for the elves, if it is just the basic archers. A lovely banishment is going to catch the pure main company and Sisters of Avalon. Oh my god, the damage! These sisters down to about a third health, if that. Losing so many models. Volkmar the Grim already getting so much value right there. Manticore has been destroyed by Elfarion, but so have the sisters there. White Lions comfortably winning their frontline engagements. Empire Knights struggling up against Spearmen, who have been caught there. Although it looks like some White Lions did get eviscerated by the Warrior Priest, and it looks like the Alien Reavers have been hit with the Unbreakable, looking just to buy time to pin in the Demigryph Knights and Volkmar to allow the Spearmen to come over here and the archers to rain down fire. But we have more Demigryph Knights with Scroll of Shielding popped on them, invading into the back lines. Reavers charging in, though, with the support of Elfarion. The Fang Sword has been drawn, and he should be able to dispatch Demigryphs relatively effectively. We still do have some archers firing, but look who it is. The basic bog standard Spearmen starting to attack from the flank there. Looks like some units have been completely wiped out now. Empire Knights vibing in the back, but they do have an opening here if they choose to take it. Looks like they're going to go the long way round instead. Don't blame them, though, trying to maybe rear attack into the White Lines. Big Fat Fiery Convocation does go down the line, catching Empire Knights, catching Spearmen, as well as some of their own swordsmen, or Spearmen I should say. Doing some really nice work there, though. For Elfarion, up to 38 kills, pin on a relatively solid showing, but the archers are really in a bad spot right now. They've been simply overwhelmed. There is a lot of White Lines left. If the pure main company can accompany Elfarion, they've got a good chance to assassinate Volkmar. That Guardian would be pretty huge. Outriders, though, unleashing salvo after salvo into the enemy now, and the archers really are taking quite a pounding at the moment. You see a load of Elvish forces are fleeing in all directions, whereas the Empire have been a little bit more stalwart here. These manlings nerfing or two about war. Empire Knights come crashing in. White Lines, though, will be able to take that charge, turn around, heft those mighty war axes to the sky, and bring them back down with some cleaving strikes. Archers just about going to be kept on line here by some rather bold and heroic Illyrian Reavers, who do charge into hand-to-hand combat, but the Empire Knights will be able to overrun them, you would at least suspect. And it is mainly the pure main company and a few dotted kind of moments of resistance for the High Elves are looking to support right now. Elfarion as well is rather healthy. He does manage to punt the Warrior Priest quite far, and the Outriders are actually getting involved in hand-to-hand combat, looking to surround Elfarion perhaps, and get the Demigryphs in there as well. Not the worst idea in the world. The White Lines are slowly cleaving their way through the enemy, but good cycle charging from Cowboy Bob, showing that cavalry is pretty deadly at the moment against High Elves, because you can really do that lovely shock damage, pull out and dish it back out once more. We are going to see a Manticore summon come down. It's probably going to be used to hunt down Elfarion the Grim, who's actually maybe looking to try to attack it and finish it off before it can dish out too much damage. Volkmar the Grim, 124 kills. I really do think is one of the best characters in the entire game. He is a nightmare for certain matchups to deal with. And yeah, he's been a bit of a beast right now. Basically full health and over 100 kills. Not too shabby up against a relatively elite Elvish force. Elfarion the Grim has decided to duel this Manticore in the sky. He's up to 46 kills himself. Not 128 level, but still not bad. White Lions trying to finish off some of the cavalry contingent. Looks like Sisters of Avalon have found themselves in a really bizarre position. Now launching shots into the cavalry. Archers have returned to the fray as well, which is really good news, but Empire Knights smelling blood. Having mobility in the late game is really quite huge and crucial. It does look like Elfarion is struggling to land hits on this Manticore successfully, but his little raining kind of shots of thunder from the sky do catch his Empire Knights, so we're going to see another apotheosis come down upon him. But the poor archers are getting run over now by the Empire Knights, and it looks like, unfortunately, Chad Thoric shall be falling with just one victory as well. That's Thoric, Blackthorn, Tech Priest, and Grombrindle all on one victory. Human Boy does win with the most number of wins of 3, but Cowboy Bob does dethrone Chad Thoric to usher in a piece of a new galactic empire. No longer shall there be a king, but an emperor instead, and his name is Volkmar. 1.7k damage value. Lovely work by him. Amber Wizard did get beat up a little bit, but the Manticore summons were quite nice. Warrior Priest coming in 600 damage value. Spearman, nothing too crazy across the board. Likewise, the same situation with the Swordsman and Empire Knights. Demigryph Knights, though, 777 damage value. Not bad, considering they had plenty left to give. Likewise, the other unit, nearly full health and 1,000 damage value. Oh my Oh, just round of applause, guys. Round of applause for these Outriders. 2,882 damage value. 26 kills, faith, steel, and plenty of long-range gunpowder. Chad Forik, been a Chad as always, bringing Elfarin the Grim and actually getting in some pretty decent work for him. He's generally considered to be relatively weak because he's quite expensive, but comes in with 2,101 damage value, 12k damage dealt, and 50 kills. White Lions did unfortunately struggle across the board. Pure Main Company, 846 damage value in this unit. Again, 846. That's kind of funny, they got exactly the same. Or 92 kills on the Pure Main Company, showing they're still just above the best of the rest. Doing a little bit better. Sister Avalon, 485 in the Archers. There was simply too much cavalry, unfortunately, for them to protect. Perhaps been prepared more for a Hellstorm rocket battery or Great Cannon kind of style of build there. But GG's. Stream over. I'm not listening, Doug. GG. Well played, lads. Alas, this was the last game. But you are the eternal king. Man, it's been awesome so far. It has been awesome. Volkmar still full HP? Oh, for sure, man. For sure. So, before you guys go, I got a challenge for you guys. We are gonna... What's up, Lazy Lads, as well, by the way? We have a raid to do. We're going to raid a fellow YouTuber, and we're going to haunt their dreams. We're going to haunt their dreams. We're going to find them. Oh my god, did someone stream snipe us at some point? We jumped up, like, in views massively at one point, by like 50 views. Did I miss something? That is really wild. What? We jumped up by like 60 views or something. But anyway, guys, we are going to raid someone. So, if you'd like to follow me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to post a link to someone else's stream. I'm going to hop into that stream and yell quack. And everyone, feel free to pop in and just yell quack after them. So, let's have a little look to see Total War Warhammer. Let's see who's currently live. Live. So... Legend Toe War's streaming, but of course he is quite a huge streamer. I don't know if he needs our stream snipe. Let's have a look. There's a few Russian streamers currently streaming. I'll try and do it English speaking, just because I know you guys can definitely watch it. So we stream like a really small streamer. Okay, we're gonna go after Dice Sagers. He's doing something called Hobby Hangout.
Right, it's more.
I'm gonna link you to him. It says he only has one watching. So we're going to ambush him, okay, guys? We're going to jump on him. Bam. Here's his stream. Let's go make his day. Say hello to him. Yell quack at him. And I hope he has a good time. Thank you guys for participating. And for thank you so much, man. It's been really good fun. You guys really have made my day. Hope you enjoyed. Let's go do a fun little raid. And I will see you guys next time. Most likely Friday. Maybe tomorrow. Who knows? But until then, peace, and as always, stay awesome.